This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow the PSP Network on all social media platforms and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. PSP Network. It's game day.
Today, we deliver more wonderful birthdays at Trinity Health Family Birth Center. We offer all new private, family-centered suites. Our maternity team provides more personalized support, advanced care, and the reassurances of a NICU and a neonatologist on staff. Take a virtual tour at trinityhealth.org/Family Birth Center. Trinity Health, making more possible.
If it's fire damage, Agent Fred Iron. From burnt to unburnt, he does that.
Our history sets us on our path. From the moment we're born, we begin our walk through life. We learn so we can discover. We find our passion and develop our skills. We build relationships. We start thinking about what we're going to leave behind to those we love. Let our legacy help shape yours. First International Bank and Trust. No matter your place in life, we can help you live first.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold up! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Last week, we kicked off the 2025 football season for 11-man and 9-man. Now this week, it's time for 2 and 3A to start their campaigns and quests to get to the Dakota Bowl. Also, tonight kicks off a dawn of a new era in the Queen City. I'm Brock Weidner, joining you from the PSP Network in Dickinson tonight. And as I alluded to, it's going to be a monumental night in game at the Bijou Activity Center. Well, since roughly 1922, Dickinson High was known as the Mighty Midgets. Many stories to the origin of the Midgets nickname circulated around the Queen City for ages. Some say it started from a sports broadcaster using the nickname on air after DHS was noticeably smaller than their opponents. Some say it was from the Mighty Midget fighter plane after a post-World War I parade stopped in, you guessed it, Dickinson. Others think the name was taken after DHS defeated the Fargo Central High Mighty Midgets. And Dickinson was smaller, so they thought they had the name sake for themselves. However, the name actually started for Dickinson as the Midgets. It lasted for over 100 years. The first attempts of changing the name started in the 90s, but it waited until the conclusion of the 2024-2025 school year until Dickinson would switch their names. Many names were thrown out, many mascot names, but the public schools from Dickinson narrowed it down to 2 finalists to be voted on by the students. And after the votes were tallied, the Dickinson Defenders fell short of the eventual winner and new school name. And I'm happy to announce for the first time here on the PSP Network, it's the Dickinson Mavericks. Dickinson's first opponents as the Mavericks are a longtime Dickinson East Region foe. The team in the East that they have played among any other team of the eastern part of the state, it is Fargo South, as these two teams meet for a 21st meeting, and we are going to start diving into it with more to come on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show right here on the PSP Network.
Wondering whether you need wealth management? Wealth management is a multifaceted offering that should provide opportunities for growth and security. At BNC National Bank, we pride ourselves on putting your priorities first and providing practical, objective financial advice. Our team can help you assess your goals and take stock of your assets to determine whether wealth management is right for you. Speak to a member of our team today to learn more. Member FDIC.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
More to come on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. It's your locally owned oil change headquarters. 25 years of the Lundins, taking care of people local actually matters. Not to mention, this oil change is a stay-in-your-car drive-through oil change that is typically performed in 15 minutes or less. Find them in Minot and Bismarck. It's Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Well, Dickinson's first opponents as the Mavericks is none other than Fargo South. And hey, love or hate the name change, these kids for Dickinson are going to have some cool bragging rights in the black and orange tonight, because they're going to go into the history books. Whoever scores the first touchdown will be able to kind of have that as a bragging right. I was the first ever touchdown, a player that got a touchdown for the Mavericks. Or throwing the first pass, got the first catch. So a lot of accolades are going to be punched for the kids there for DHS. And one thing we do know is there is a new head coach, and he is going to be overseeing Dickinson this year, and it's Dawson McLaughlin. McLaughlin was a special teams coordinator and assistant defensive back coach in this very same arena at the Bijou Activity Center for the Dickinson State Bluehawks. And Dawson also played for DSU back in his collegiate days, where he started at safety for 3 years, helping DSU in 4 conference titles and was an AP second-team All-American in 2022. And something also to note, he got an assistant coach that used to be the head coach at Hart River, and Tiger Fry, who also played at DSU together, and he was also an All-American. So, hey, what a coaching staff that Dickinson High has built up for their first year as the Mavericks. A new team name, a new head coach for Dickinson, but on the other side of the field, it's pretty much no changes. Fargo South has been the Bruins since 1967. They've been one of the most successful programs in North Dakota with 13 state titles, 21 championship appearances for the Bruins, and at the helm is Tyler Kosel, who returns for a 9th season. He has a record of 37 wins and 40 losses and has helped the Bruins make 6 appearances to the playoffs in his 8 years. But Kosel and the Bruins look to bounce back after the program's first ever winless season a year ago. But they certainly bring back a lot of returning talent to push for the playoffs and try to rebound. And we're going to be talking about a couple of those players when we return, as well as the 2A preseason polls. You don't want to miss it right here on the PSP Network.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-iety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private, individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Bravera Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts.
Let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account.
To wealth management, we'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals.
Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
Looks like it's going to be a great harvest.
Welcome back into the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. I'm Brock Weidner, joining you on the PSP Network tonight. And again, we have talked about it, the Dickinson Mavericks' first ever game with that team name, taking on Fargo South, and it is going to be a fun one to kick off the 2A season. And speaking of 2A, let's jump in to the 2A media poll. Preseason poll has Minot North at the top spot, 11 first-place votes, and they have the target on their back early on. Minot North first ever season with a football program last year, and they had a lot of success, but did fall short of the Dakota Bowl, as it would later go on to a team that we talk about a little bit later on, and a West Fargo Horace team that jumped up to 3A. Well, the 1H runner-ups, not the champs, the runner-ups last year, Kindred, they move up a class, was 12-1 in 11A, and they receive 1 first-place vote in their first year as a 2A squad. We talked about the runner-ups in the 2A last year. Well, there's Grand Forks Red River, the 11-1, almost a perfect season, but just fell short by a touchdown to West Fargo Horace in the championship. They have 2 first-place votes, and another Class A school, a single-A school, that has bumped up to 2A in Central Cass, as they them and Kindred came up together to 2A this year in the Eastern Region, 10-2 last year, and they have 1 first-place vote. But also something to note, Central Cass was actually the favorite according to the coaches poll in 2A, as well as the Pigskin. So Central Cass, even though they're number 4 in the media poll, some teams view them as the best in the East. And then Bismarck St. Mary's, 5-5, looking to better a 500 record a season go, round out your top 5. Well, receiving votes to start the season, Devils Lake, Jamestown, these Dickinson Mavericks, Grand Forks Central, and as well as the Fargo South Bruins. So, hey, what better way to kick off the 2A season here on the PSP Network than a little receiving votes versus receiving votes. Winner could put themselves in a driver's seat to be top 5 at the end of the week. Well, lots of fun stuff going on as you see there. Perfect time to re-enter back in. We've got the horse coming up. You see that a lot during Dickinson State games, as with the rodeo grounds just to the side here of the Bijou Activity Center. But looks like the Mavericks going to try to build some tradition of their own and kind of piggyback with the Blue Hawks, too, to start their games. We saw Dickinson State Blue Hawks win their game last night here at the BAC 30-15 against Valley City. But let's talk about these two squads, as we mentioned earlier with the media polls. But now we look at how they did last year. Fargo South 0-9 last year, first winless season in program history. But the year before 6-4. They have made the playoffs 3 straight years in 2021, 2022, and 2023 before falling out of playoff contention last year. We talked about in the first part there that this team is one of the most storied programs in North Dakota. 13 state titles, last coming in 2013. 8 runner-ups, so 21 championship appearances, 18 region titles for this Bruin program. And it's a program since 1975 that has been tough to beat game in and game out. 391 wins, 144 losses. And 73% of their games have exited in the win column for this Bruin squad in the last 75 years. So that is pretty good, if I say so myself. They have only missed the playoffs 7 times in the last 50 years, and only 4 seasons since 1975 that they've had a lower than 500 record. In their season openers, 7-3 in their last 10 openers, 2-3 in their last 5. Now for the Dickinson Mavericks, 6-5 in 2023, and 2024 just 1 game under 500, 4-5. 1 state championship for Dickinson back in 97, 3 region titles, and 1 runner-up in 84. Both championship games for Dickinson happen to be against the Bismarck High Demons. Program record since 1975, 223 wins, 249 losses for around a 47% win percentage. Last 4 years, 19-21, 3 playoff appearances from 21 to 24 seasons. The 4 years before that, as Dickinson kind of struggled a little bit, 5-29 in the 4 years prior. So it's been a bounce-back 4 years that Dickinson has been right around 500. They are looking to make that push for another chance at the playoffs and another chance to get their 2nd state title. This has been a matchup that has played 20 times. Fargo South has won it 16 of those 20 times, and these teams have also met in the playoffs 9 times. So half the times these teams have played each other, it's come in postseason play. Well, today it is going to be the start of the football season. Let's take another break right here on the pregame show, brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, brought to you right here on the PSP Network. Don't go anywhere.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Breathe in.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There's some things in life we can't control, but what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Spa
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
Welcome back into the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Pre-Game show. Now let's jump into the last meeting of these two teams. We talked about Fargo South. Overall, in a history of these two teams playing each other, has had the number 16 wins to 4 losses against DHS, but DHS has really started to find their groove against Fargo South, and their last win coming last season, 28-7. As Dylan Glauser got a 10-yard touchdown pass right away to get it scoring 6-0. Then Braden Meschke ends up with an 85-yard touchdown reception from Nate Stevenson, 14-0, before Glauser with a 99-yard interception, pick 6, to make it 21-0, and that was enough to really put Dickinson in the ahead, give them all the momentum. Henry Agray for Fargo South would have a 60-yard touchdown rush to get Fargo South on the board in the second half, but Shaden Jackson-Zeitz would close out the scoring in favor of DHS 28-7 that night last year, and that was that last meeting again. DHS favored at 28-7. We'll see what happens tonight as the start of the 2025 football year, as we're going to talk about key players and key losses for these two teams, and let's talk about the visiting Fargo South Bruins. And Fargo drove in style on the long road trip, a long 4-hour trip from Fargo. They had one of the North Dakota State buses pull them in here this afternoon. And let's talk about some key losses from last year. Again, start of the season, you had some players of graduation that left the program and are going to have some big shoes to fill. And we talk with Fargo South, Brevin Ork, a quarterback last year, was the starting quarterback, 2,200 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Also was able to pick up a couple yards on the ground. And against Dickinson last year, Work had 17 for 33, 126 yards, 3 interceptions. But again, a quarterback is usually a big loss in a program, but they do have a player that we'll mention, one of our key players that is coming back. Then we go Keaton Dockin, a kicker last year that was perfect, 18 for 18 on extra points. Kicking is key, especially when you get to 2 and 3A. So, hey, you got to replace a quarterback and a kicker from last year. Some other key mentions, Griffin Olson, who had a stellar year defensively, around 27 tackles, and Alexander Moody, 23 tackles last year. 6 came against DHS. Key players, well, we talk about the quarterback situation. Silas Johnson is the new quarterback this year. Had some reps last year, but again, is now in the starting position. As you see, the horse now lead the charge for the newly named Dickinson Mavericks, as they come running on the field for the first time under the new team name. A great sight here at the Bijou Activity Center. As we continue on talking about the Fargo South Bruins, Henry Agray, 589 rushing yards last year. He's going to be a key player. Amari Taylor's getting some collegiate interest. 61 catches a year ago for almost 1,000 yards on the season. Javon Anderson, kind of either do-it-all player if you need him to catch a pass, run, throw, whatever you need him. Javon Anderson, another key player. And another fun one is a 6'7", yeah, I said that right, 6'7", tight end who's getting interest from NDSU and the University of Minnesota. And Drew Kessel, 48 catches, 573 yards last year, and 8 touchdowns. For the Dickinson Mavericks, they lost Braden Meschke, and their all-around rush leader, 3 touchdowns, 400 receiving yards. Shaden Jackson-Zeitz had over 300 rushing yards as well. And Tristan Stallworth, their key losses, all were really key players on the ground for the Mavericks. But they return a lot of receivers that could kind of change the dynamic of this team. Paxton Leeson, 19 catches, 267 yards, 2 touchdowns last year. Dylan Glauser, 32 catches for over 500 a year ago. And they got the returning quarterback in Nate Stevenson to do the passing there for him as a sophomore, 1,500 passing yards. So with that, we got the kind of the tail of the tape almost all kind of figured out here between Dickinson and Fargo South. We've got the horses running on the field as the pregame festivities are starting to really ramp up here at the Bijou Activity Center, as we are going to now take a break on over for tonight's national anthem here at Fisher Field. You're listening to the PSP Network. Again, the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show. Valvoline Instant Oil Change brought you tonight's pregame show as we head on over now to tonight's national anthem.
Coaches and spectators, we ask that you cheer for your team and be respectful of the opponent. As high school student athletes, we commit to fair play, responsibility, and respect. We invite you to support in our efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise. Remove your cap or hat, place your right hand over your heart, and stand at attention as the Dickinson High School Pep Band, under the direction of Mr. Matt Gettle, plays our national anthem.
That was tonight's national anthem right here on the PSP Network. I'm Brock Weidner joining you here for an exciting day on the gridiron. Dickinson taking on Fargo South when we return right here on the PSP Network.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold on. Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealer.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
National anthem is wrapped up, and now we get ready for the starting lineups tonight. As big thanks out to our sponsors here on the PSP Network. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Minot State. The best way to predict your future is to create it. With over 100 areas of study is at Minot State. You'll earn the degree for the career you desire, with more than 96% of recent Minot State grads employed or continuing their education. MSU grads get jobs, period. Minot State University. Be seen, be heard, be you. Oh, it's going to be a fun night here in Dickinson. We had a fun Friday last week right here on the PSP Network from the Queen City, where Dickinson Trinity won on the final play against Bowman County as the Bulldogs were stopped 1 yard short of the end zone that would have tied the game and gave them a chance to win it with a 2-point conversion, but the Trinity Titans were able to pick up the win last week. And then there was another fun football game just last night for Dickinson State as the Blue Hawks victorious over Valley City 30-15. Dickinson High looking to follow suit. They want to make it a trifecta and triple crown, having all teams that play at the Bijou Activity Center 1-0 and win their season at home openers. As they have Fargo South here tonight, we talked and we'll continue to talk about the name change for Dickinson. Again, they are the Mavericks, as you'll see with the, especially when you see the coaching staff, that is going to be that normal orange. It's more of that Texas Longhorn burnt orange. That will be the new kind of official color of the Dickinson Mavericks. Fargo South, again, they'll be in their white jerseys, yellow bottoms, and having the brown trimming as well. Fargo South, we talked about, we keep on talking about the name change. Well, Fargo South's got their own kind of thing going on as well, as they have a track. Their track and field is getting kind of redone, and so it has made the Bruins kind of homeless, without a home for a while. They were supposed to have a home game this next week, but that is going to be pushed to the campus of Fargo North, as they're just not quite done with those track and field. Their track and field renovations there on the Fargo South campus. Well, we are going to take a look at those starting lineups once the ball is kind of kicked off. We will be moving right to left to start tonight's coverage. Fargo South will boot it off to Dickinson, so the Mavericks will start with the ball early on. We talked about Fargo South having a new kicker this year. It's Caleb Nissen. He's a 6'2 senior, and now Nissen, in his first game in a Bruin uniform here at the varsity level, will boot it off right to left. You'll adjust it on the tee. Before we get going here, again, a great student section for DHS. Good support for the Bruins as well, making the trip, but we are off and running as Nissen puts his hand off in the air. And here we go, football here in the Queen City, as it will be a touchback, goes into the end zone, and DHS will start with the ball. Let's meet the offensive starters. On the front line, the left tackle, a senior, Trenton Tolliver. A junior at the left guard, Jacob Britton. Center today, a sophomore, Cannon Dressler. Right guard, Cale Thompson, and the right tackle rounding out that starting offensive front, it's Cole Crossley. Quarterback under center, Nate Stevenson in his junior campaign after a great sophomore season for him. Running back Cameron Bowden, a senior, and then a lot of returning weapons. Tight end Colby Fasthorse and the experienced wide receivers Dylan Glauser, Paxton Leeson, and Caleb Polens. Stevenson will start the game and the shotgun. First ever play for the Mavericks. A little wheel route and just not able to come up with that. We'll see if they say fumble, as Fargo South saying it is, and the referee will too. They will say that Leeson had possession, and that will have again made it a fumble. As we will take a look here, we'll see if we got it on the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay just a little after there, but you see the celebration. A great start if you are a Fargo South fan, coming up with an early fumble recovery. It was quickly in and out of the hands of Leeson, and Fargo South gets a break to start the game, and now first-year starter Silas Johnson will call out the reins. He pushes out A-grade to the right. He fires a pass to the 6'7" tight end, Drew Kessel, just out of the reach of 1-7. A lot of these Fargo South Bruins donning different numbers than a year ago. It was the old jersey shuffle, if you will. Kind of the musical chairs, the jersey numbers. A lot of players swapping jersey numbers for this Fargo South team, but hey, might as well. You have a number preference that maybe wasn't available in previous years, you might as well go for it. Two receivers out to the left, two to the right. They'll put in a gray into motion. Silas Johnson now fires it to Kessel. This time he does haul it in. And it's a gain of 12, moving the chains for the first time in the Bruins 2025 campaign. Well, I think we already know who Silas Johnson's favorite receiver is. I mean, do you have to, when you see a 6'7" tight end, you would probably assume that would be a good choice. And certainly has. Kessel, that 6'7" receiver in the 1-7. Again, we talked about in the pregame show. He already has an offer to play at North Dakota State and the University of Minnesota. Gray gets his first carry of the day. He works to the right side, almost tripped up, and he will eventually be pushed out of bounds. Nice work there by the Mavericks, trying to push him over to outside the numbers and able to finally get him to go down there. Were a couple of Mavericks that were able to issue on the sides. Looks like the final player to get the last say was Caleb Polans. Or, excuse me, Devin Height was over there in on the tackle. Second down and 7 coming up with ball located inside the Serve Pro red zone. Here comes the handoff. One man to beat and into the end zone. Scoring the first touchdown is Tate Barnacle. As let's take a look at the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay. As again, here it is. Johnson hands it off to Barnacle, and he works out to the left side and beats the Mavericks to the punch. As there's a quick touchdown score for Fargo South after coming up with a first play fumble recovery. Ends up working it in to the side of a touchdown. So Fargo South, it was a Barnacle touchdown there for them. That puts them on the board, and now back to Nissen with the PAT. The hold is good, the snap is good, and the kick is as well. 7-0 Fargo South as the Bruins lead early with 10:36 remaining in the first quarter here at the Bijou Activity Center right here on the PSP Network.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess, and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson.
Welcome back right here on the you're going after the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show. We are right here into action right after Fargo South scoring the opening touchdown in the ballgame, 7-0, after picking up a fumble recovery on the very first play. And then it was Tate Barnacle that was able to get the opening touchdown with an 8-yard run after a couple of chances they were trying to go to Drew Kessel. He picks up a reception, sets him up well. And they had Henry Gray as that starting running back and saw the first couple plays on the field, switched the running back, and into the end zone they go. As again, now Dickinson looks to try to rebound after a fumble on the first play of their first offensive drive. It was a quick little wheel route to try to get the offense going to Paxton Leeson. Had kind of trouble with it. The referee said he did have possession, and then he lost it, is what they deemed, as here comes the handoff right up the gut. Quick push back there as they run it up the gut to the senior Cameron Bowden for a run of 3. Gain of 3 for Bowden, and he's going to see a lot of carries this year, as again, we talked about the losses and the impact from a season ago. This was a Dickinson team that liked to run the ball, and they had plenty of options to do so, but lost 3 of their top 4 rushers from last year. Their only returner was the quarterback in Nate Stevenson out of that top 4 rushing leaders for the Mavericks. Stevenson, high snap, trying to get there quick. He's just going to try to jump on it and does. Great work by Nate Stevenson. in a pinch, had to get back as he was feeling the pressure, as you had Tate Barnacle as well as Adron Wilson are hot on his heels, but was able to win the race back to the ball. However, now it is going to be third and about 17 coming up on the way of the DHS Mavericks. Seeing what they're trying to get here, trying to build up that consistency under first-year head coach Dawson McLaughlin. Looking for that first big chunk play. Will we see them be aggressive here deep in their own zone? Leeson in motion. Got a flag before the ball is snapped. By indication on the sideline, Fargo South thinking it's going to be on DHS. So a 3rd and 17 on the delay of game is what it's going to be called. Issue back a couple more yards, and now you got 3rd and forever. Do you risk it all here early on? Do you play conservative, just run the ball here on this 3rd down and punt it away? We'll see how risky McLaughlin wants to be. In his first kind of big decision play here coming up in his coaching career. Stevenson and the Mavericks break the huddle. 3 receivers out to his left, 1 to his right. Stevenson on the heels of the end zone, steps up, fires a pass to Dylan Glauser. Just out of reach and out of play. They were going for the home run shot and 3rd and forever, but just out of bounds the ball goes, and great work defensively. In company there was Jackson Lewis, a sophomore that was hot on the pursuit of the Dickinson Mavericks top receiver from a year ago of Dylan Glauser. Now it's time to punt, try to punt it away here and try to do it safely for DHS. As you're going to see their punter have his heels right near the out-of-bounds line in the deep part of the end zone. As Fargo South going to make a quick returner change. They're initially going to have Kobe Simmers back there. He's going to check out, and they're going to bring in Javon Anderson, who was kind of their primary returner last year. A low snap, though, picked up and booted on a line, a really low punt that is going to slowly roll and finally stop down at the 37 before a whole crew of Mavericks gets there to whistle there, and they'll throw it on to the referee. Well, now we jump back and over. Back on front now is Fargo South. They'll be in the helm of the offense that struck pay dirt last time through. Let's take a look at it. This is how their last drive ended, with a Tate Barnacle touchdown 8-yard run. They're looking to see if they can go 2 touchdowns on 2 offensive drives for the Brew Crew. Silas Johnson, first drive as the starting quarterback, ends in a touchdown. Now he's looking to pass here. Rolls to his right, fires a pass. It's hauled in by Anderson, but they'll say he was out of bounds. But right where we look at the Dickinson Blue Hawk at midfield, there's a flag, and much to the appreciation of the Maverick faithful. So they'll toss that back. Looks like a towel was also kind of thrown there, something that the referee kind of threw away from the side of the play. Holding on the offense. And there was also an unsportsmanlike conduct play on Fargo South as well. So a double penalty there on Fargo South. They'll take the unsportsmanlike. That will drift them back, as Fargo South now, after having really nice real estate after a slow rolling punt, now have to get pushed into their own zone. So this is the first time Fargo South has had to work from their own side of the field offensively here in the opening quarter. Comes up 8:43 here in the first. Both teams have touched the ball twice as we bring it up to a 1st and forever. But you'd rather have the forever kind of 1st and a mile than 4th and a mile, that's for sure. See what they draw up here at the ball on their own 38-yard line. They got to get to the opposite, 37. So trying to flip the field. are the Bruins with Silas Johnson taking the snap. Hands it off to Agray as Agray gets a few yards before being met by Easton Blower. Blower in the bright green cleats, the tackler on the play. But looks like a personal foul on the defense. So Fargo South, after the unsportsmanlike call, will get a little present from DHS as the Mavericks called on a face mask, and now that's going to bring them right around past midfield and back into DHS territory. Put them in at the 44. As both teams have penalties here early on in this drive, it will now make it around a 1st and 15 instead of around a 1st and 25. Two receivers the opposite sides of Johnson. Really getting right up to where that ball is as his near receiver. As Johnson looking to throw deep. He's going to let one go. Trying to run down the ball is Shamba, but will not be able to. But Johnson shows his arm here early on, showing, hey, I can throw it deep there. Again, around the distance of that ball, throw it from the 45 near the end zone, so definitely has that big play potential. A Bruins team that always has a lot of high-end skill and athleticism talent on the offensive front. No different this year with Amari Taylor, Henley Agray, Carter Shamba, Drew Kessel. Plenty of options, even Tate Barnacle, who scored the opening touchdown. Handed off to Agray, makes the first tackler miss before being brought down by a couple of Mavericks, Caleb Polans, as well as Wyatt Turner in on the tackle. Henry Agray, he's a big-time player. Last year against DHS had 100 yards on the ground and defensively 10 tackles against Dickinson. He's looking to try to replicate that, but so far has been held in tune. 3rd and 14. Fargo South here with 7:40 remaining in the opening quarter. Ball at the 41. Pressure coming for the Mavericks. Johnson quickly gets the ball out. Caught by Kobe Simmers as it's going to be short of the first down marker, but now it's decision time to be made as looks like it'll be about 4th and 4. 10-yard quick little strike from Johnson to Simmers. Sits them up well, and it looks like they are going to roll the table and go for it, are the Bruins. So they'll keep Nissen on the bench, keep Johnson on the field, see if they can punch out the 4 yards that need be. Will it go to Agray? Will you go to the big safety blanket of Kessel? We'll see here what they draw up. Tyler Kosel, they'll bring into motion. Tate Barnacle. Before he gets set, a timeout to be taken by Fargo South, and we will take one with them. Don't go anywhere. Big 4th down coming up for Fargo South. They lead 7-0 right here on the PSP Network. Today's game brought to you in part by Northern Plains Heating and Air. There's no other choice to seal your heating and air game than Northern Plains Heating and Air. Call Dylan today at 222-2155 to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter. For the months ahead, new installation upgrades and all your furnace and AC needs. Again, call Dylan today at 222-2155. 4th and 3 coming up for Fargo South. They're looking to roll the dice here early on as they lead 7-0 here at the Bijou Activity Center. Silas Johnson looks back to pass on 4th down, looks to his 6'7" target of Kessel. He initially didn't have it, and then it drops down. Did it drop in his hands? There's a flag that's thrown out. Some words to be had, and by Drew Kessel's reaction, it looks like it's going to be on the Mavericks. Let's see that. That ball gets kind of popped up after Kessel initially had a little bit of contact with it, had the fingertips on it. As that replay brought to you by Ryan Family Dealerships. And penalty going to be thrown on the Mavericks. Either way, Kessel was saying he actually ended up coming down with it anyways. But the flag after a couple of jawing back and forth, and looks like the refs didn't like what the Mavericks had to say last, and that will put Fargo South into the Serve Pro Red Zone. Serve Pro Red Zone, 24/7 emergency service, trained technicians, advanced technology, fire and water cleanup and restoration. It's Serve Pro. Fargo South in there for the second time here in the first quarter. They lead 7-0, trying to make it a 2-possession gap over DHS. Johnson motioning Barnacle to the left. Now he'll hand it off to Gray. He's going to bounce off to the left side. Now we'll cut up into the middle before being fought by a whole crew of Mavs there. First one to make contact was Devin Height in on the play. Player down on the Mavericks. We are going to take a break right here on the PSP Network.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it. We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is... Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day. So you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Welcome back in here to Bijou Activity Center. Player down on the field for DHS as being attended to as they're bringing a stretcher onto the football field. I do not have a number for you, but we will let you know as soon as we find out right here on the PSP Network. We're going to go in and take another injury timeout break. Don't go anywhere.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
The foundation of the financial planning approach at Legacy Financial Partners is a personal relationship. Our unique and collaborative approach to financial planning starts with your dreams, not just the numbers. We will work with you regularly to take action to update your plan as your needs evolve, recommending products and services that are right for your situation.
Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's going to go. So
hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved. Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Welcome back in right here to the Bijou Activity Center, still in the injury timeout. Looks like it is number 65, the senior Trevor Tolliver, the injured player. And they've got the paramedics attending to him right now, as well as the coaching staff have got a stretcher on the football field and are continuing to attend to Trevor Tolliver. We're going to continue to kind of come in and out, but we're going to go back into a break right here on the PSP Network.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Wondering whether you need wealth management? Wealth management is a multifaceted offering that should provide opportunities for growth and security. At BNC National Bank, we pride ourselves on putting your priorities first and providing practical, objective financial advice. Our team can help you assess your goals and take stock of your assets to determine whether wealth management is right for you. Speak to a member of our team today to learn more. Member FDIC.
Presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Welcome back in right here to the PSP Network as the paramedics have got Trevor Tolliver on to the stretcher. Big shout out to the great paramedic squad that we have here at the Bijou Activity Center. They were fast to the reaction, quickly attending to Tolliver, and quickly getting another paramedic on site as well, another ambulance, so they can switch them out as well later on. And so, again, great work here by the paramedics and by the crew here for Dickinson Services. So a big shout out to the ambulance services. Again, it's one of these things about the great sport that we love here on the PSP Network of football. Injuries happen. We hope that it's nothing too serious. We hope Trevor Tolliver, the best wishes, and a speedy recovery for Tolliver. We hope that it is one that is going to be very quick, but again, it's just the downside to sports. Injuries happen, and it's just about continuing to battle on, and again, hope the best in his recovery process. In this game, if you're just joining us, 7-0 Fargo South. Fargo is starting to drive the ball down the field, and then the injury did occur to Tolliver as Great student section shot right there. Basically waiting and watching on as their fellow student being cared for in Tolliver. Well, let's take another break here as we'll give the fire rescue more time to attend to Tolliver right here on the PSP Network. We will return back after a short break.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Brevera Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts,
let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account,
to wealth management, we'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals.
Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
Looks like it's going to be a great harvest.
Breathe in.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There's some things in life we can't control, but what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold up! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
Welcome back in as Trevor Tolliver being escorted out in the fire rescue unit. Again, big shout out to the paramedics that were quick on the scene, and wish Trevor Tolliver the best in his recovery process there for the DHS senior. Now it's time for DHS to try to hit the reset button, and after seeing a teammate go down the way that Tolliver did, it's tough to try to hit that mentally reset. And, you know, Fargo South has to do it too. I mean, they might not know him on a personal level, but you don't want to see anyone go down the field in that manner. But now it's trying to reset and get back into the swing of things. I think that's what Dawson McLaughlin was trying to tell his team on the sideline. As Silas Johnson got a quick little pass out, almost getting into the end zone there on a nice little play was Austin Morris, but he was popped hard by Devin Height. Devin Height been all around defensively here for the Mavericks, and no different there for the senior linebacker. Did a good job of patrolling the Serve Pro red zone with 6:30 remaining in the first quarter. 7-0 Bruins as Fargo South trying to get on the board for a second time. Handoff up the gut. Barnacle stopped short and a big pushback for the Mavericks once again. First one out of the charge and all hyped up was Wyatt Turner. You could have made a pick of anybody that started the charge there defensively, but Turner, the one that was very excited, so we'll say he was probably the one that got the initial contact. As Dickinson making some substitutions. Is getting ready for the field goal as they'll go with field goal unit in and bring in the field goal place kicker of Nissen. Caleb Nissen hit the PAT earlier. Now already got 1 point to his name, seeing if he can add 3, but here's a penalty flag coming up on 4th and 2 from the 2. 5-yard penalty, backer up, and now Nissen going to have just a little bit of a longer field goal, but maybe that was on purpose there. Sometimes you don't want to be so close there as a kicker. As Nissen will set up again. Waits for the hold from Silas Johnson. Johnson with the hold. Nissen boots it through, and it is good. Field goal good for Nissen and the Fargo South Bruins. They lead at 10-0 right here at the Bijou Activity Center. Start of the 2A football season. Let's take a break right here on the PSP Network.
Breathe in.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There are some things in life we can't control, but what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Welcome back in here to the PSP Network. I'm Brock Weidner, joining you right here at the Bijou Activity Center as Caleb Nissen gets his first field goal kick of the year, and it was through the uprights, making it 10-0 Fargo South. So the Bruins on the road, a long road trip, lead early in the first quarter, 10-zip. And it was reverse last year where Dickinson had to make the long road trip out to Fargo South. And they were the team that jumped out early and would later on win that game 28-7. So Fargo South looking to try to repay the favor. Tonight's game brought to you in part by BSN. BSN creates exclusive personalized solutions for North Dakota high school and collegiate programs. From custom equipment, uniforms, and coaches' apparel to fanwear, branding, and more. They do it all. Contact your local BSN sales pro today. So big thanks out to BSN and all of our sponsors here at the PSP Network. As Dickinson trying to get the offense flowing and trying to get that early momentum back on their side as they trail by 10. Nate Stevenson drops back to pass, faces some pressure from Drew Kessel. He rolls to his left, pump fake, as Stevenson going to take it for himself before being wrapped up just short of the first down marker. But a good run for the junior quarterback as he just a little bit short of the first down marker. A gain of about 8. Here it is on your Ryan Family Dealerships. Instant replay, great run, great decision making from your junior quarterback in Stevenson. Gained a lot of experience as a sophomore last year where he had 1,500 passing yards, almost 500 rushing yards, and showing he can be that dual threat for the Mavericks. Second and short. Going to give the handoff to Bowden. Bowden rolling down Main Street. He'll pick up a first down. I believe it's the first down for the Mavericks. It goes by Cameron Bowden on the way to the ground. Great work there by Bowden. Would not go down without a fight. A couple of Fargo South Bruins grabbed him on the leg, but he kept on hobbling and getting an extra yard. First contact by Javon Anderson. Talked about Anderson in the pregame show. He's their do-it-all player. He had rushing yards, passing attempts, receiving yards, and it was a good defensive play for them as well. A really just kind of four-tool player, if you will, there for Anderson. Here's the handoff to Bowden. And Bowden is starting to get the train rolling in the right direction for Dickinson. During the summer, that was the main, probably one of the bigger concerns of who is going to run the rock for Dickinson. With three, their top running backs in graduation. But Cameron Bowden, especially on this drive, has looked the part as the feature back this year in the 2025 campaign. Motioning it on to Leeson. Looks on the way to Leeson now. Leeson with the catch. Runs upfield, quickly getting up north, but a flag on the play. Leeson will have a first down if it does stay. But we'll just have to wait, and by reaction, potentially going to be coming back, but we will wait. It was the same exact play as DHS started the game on. Leeson had the bobble, could not quite hold it on, and it was a fumble, as the referee said. He did have possession at some point, and it was ended up gathered in for a fumble recovery for Fargo South. They would later go on to score that first touchdown in the ball game. Same play on that wheel route to Leeson, and at this time it's going to be a penalty on DHS. So now bring it drifted back to 2nd and 8, pushing it back to their own 36-yard line. Two receivers on both sides of Stevenson. Looks back to pass. Fires down the middle. It is caught by Dylan Glauser to move the chains for the Mavericks. Great look there for Stevenson and Dickinson High. Seeing it there on the Ryan Family Dealerships. Replay as Dylan Glauser, their leading receiver last year. 5 touchdowns, 32 catches, over 500 receiving yards. And he looks to be another important impact player once again this year. New running back in the backfield. It's Wyatt Turner. They'll give it to Turner. He's going to fight off not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 or 5 Bruins there and a late flag. We have seen a lot of unsportsmanlike, I think 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties already in the first 10 minutes of the contest. And it's going to be unnecessary roughness on Fargo South. So not unsportsmanlike, but will be unnecessary roughness. And these two teams, no love lost. They might be separated by pretty much the length of the great state of North Dakota, but have played each other 21 times in program history. Again, Fargo South is Dickinson's most played team on the eastern part of the state. Played them 9 times in postseason. And even though separated by around 4 hours, these two teams know well of each other. Stevenson fakes the option, will keep it himself. He powers his way to the 25, falls forward. And we might, that was a little pushing again after the play, but no harm, no foul. In on the tackle for Fargo South was Adron Wilson. Look at that run there, falling forward. And you see stepping in for Dickinson High, Cameron Bowden says, hey, get off my quarterback. No shenanigans going to be played there with Bowden patrolling the area. Marshalling the field there for his quarterback. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Dickinson building out a nice drive. Bowden up the gut, but he's not going to go far. Quickly pushed back as Henry Agrade leading the charge, him and Jacob Artek. A couple of seniors in on the tackle. They will say Bowden was able to power his way for 2. He's had a great start to his campaign, and this drive has been fueled through Cameron Bowden. But they'll switch back to Wyatt Turner. Turner blocking, gives a nice block for Stevenson. Enough time for him to throw a dot into the end zone. Caught by Paxton Leeson for the first touchdown for the Dickinson High Mavericks in the 2025 year. You can see that they're all fired up. They're back on the board as they now trail by 3. Let's take a look at that replay. What a block by Wyatt Turner right before the defender could get to Stevenson. Turner takes one for the team and allows Stevenson to get that throw off. Here's the PAT. It is up and it is good. DHS on the board as the Mavericks trail by 3, 7-10 against Fargo South. Let's take a break right here on the PSP Network.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with.
Welcome back in right here to the PSP Network. We're going to boot it away as it's going left to right after the Paxton Leeson touchdown for Dickinson. And Dickinson, special teams unit coming up big. And guess who? Devin Height leading the way. Height leads the charge. And you probably can tell it right here on the PSP Network. The tides and the momentum have started to turn in favor of DHS. You're just seeing a very noticeable difference of how they're conducting themselves on the sideline after they make a big play. And maybe it's one of those things where you get the games where it's a very physical matchup. Just heats you up more. And right now, Dickinson has got the momentum. They trail by 3 and now look to try to make a defensive stop here to close out the first quarter. Silas Johnson, 1st and 10, coming up on the new drive for Fargo South. Johnson drops back to pass. Looks to his right. Now will roll to his right. Pressured, trying to throw out a pass and does. Goes incomplete as he was feeling pressure from Easton Blower as well as Kobe Monterez. Flag coming out. And Dickinson happy and cheerful on their sideline because they know it's going farther back as it's a holding on the Bruins. So drifted back a couple more yards for the Brew Crew as momentum continuing to be in favor of DHS. The hype, the excitement of the start of the season. Great attendance here tonight at the Bijou Activity Center. Even a great contingent of Fargo South fans that made the trip. Quick pass to the outside, out of reach for Silas Johnson's pass for Kobe Simmers. Goes incomplete. Bruins early on in this drive trying to work on the outside of the numbers, trying to get some quick strikes out there. Both being incomplete, but one was called back due to the holding call. Now we'll see what they draw up here. 2nd and 20 in the shadow of their own goalposts. They're just going to hand it off. A little shake and bake. Dips out to the outside. He'll tightrope before being popped right in front of the Dickinson high bench. Does a Gray have enough to move the chains? We're just waiting here as knowing it's going to be a decent amount short there, 5 yards, as a couple of Fargo South players really were kind of pointing towards there, but 5 yards short. 3rd and 5 after a really solid run for Henry Agray. And that's something to take the pressure off your quarterback in a 3rd down mark as Johnson, well protected, plenty of time to throw the ball. Tries to go to his 6'7" tight end, but just off the fingertips of Kessel. making it 4th down, and it looks like they are changing up the systems here. It looks like the punt team coming on the field. Big time stop for Dickinson after that touchdown for the Mavericks. Ended up pushing Fargo South to their farthest back start. You know, they've had a really good field position every time they've hit the field. This time was not so much, and allowed that defense to get settled in for the Mavs. As Caleb Polans has flag going to come off before anything gets situated here. It's going to be delay a game on Fargo South, and now Neeson is going to have to boot it a little farther back, even a little closer to his own goal line. Ball set up at the 25, but Neeson's foot right at the 8. So got to make sure snap is good and protection's good as well. Pressure coming. Almost gets to it there is DHS and goes all the way to the 38. A beautiful punt on its way for Fargo South. But now Dickinson gets back into the workshop as they settle back in on offense. And let's take a refresher of how that last drive ended for Dickinson. It's a Nate Stevenson touchdown strike to Paxton Leeson. And again, it was a great block up front by Wyatt Turner that made that thing all possible as we jump back in now as the Mavericks break the huddle, hoping that the end result stays the same as their last drive. Stevenson hands it off to Bowden. Bowden was able to just slowly kind of negotiate his way around what way he wanted to go inside the blockers there. Was able to pick up around 3 or 4 yards was Bowden. Showing nice patience on that carry was the senior running back. Very well could be the last play of the first quarter coming up for Dickinson High. As time continues to drip down, they could not have to play a play here to close it out, but they will. Stevenson rolls to his right. There's going to be a penalty call. Stevenson, as he's getting hit, just throws out a pass. It was in and out of the hands of Caleb Polans, but a flag. It's going to be a holding on the offense as the clock hits 000. So holding on Dickinson High, but somehow Nate Stevenson was able to muster a pass out of the contact he had and delivered a really nice strike right in the breadbasket of Polans. Even if Polans did catch it, it was going to be coming back regardless. So they'll replay the play here on 2nd down. But see, I guess they're going to have one untimed down, I believe, as it is 000. So we get looks like one untimed down. So, never mind. Looks like they were going to, but the PA announcer said it was the end of the quarter. Nope, referee still saying one more play. So they will have one more untimed down to close out quarter number 1. South making some adjustments on the defensive line. They're going to bring the pressure. Stevenson got to get it out quick. Had an open receiver just under through Dylan Glaser, and that will close out the opening quarter right here on the PSP Network. Fargo South 10, Dickinson 7. Let's take a break, and when we come back, quarter number 2 coming up your way.
Facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Welcome back in right here to the PSP Network as the field flipped as now Dickinson going right to left here in quarter number 2. Dickinson trails 7-10 against Fargo South. Stevenson, plenty of time to throw. Puts up a nice pass to Leeson. Oh, almost a one-handed catch there for Leeson as just out of length on what would have been a first down for Dickinson High. Stevenson had some nice protection up front from the big men in the black and orange, but just could not quite put that one in the red basket there of Leeson. Those two connected on a touchdown earlier today, trying to see if they could have doubled it down, but that time going to be incomplete and force a punt. So a quick stop for Fargo South will force the punt team back out. And all sorts of chaos on the Dickinson side. So they're just going to talk it over and take a First International Bank and Trust timeout. We'll take one with them. Don't go anywhere. You're listening in right here on the PSP Network.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day. So you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Welcome back in right here to the PSP Network. Again, timeout break brought to you by First International Bank and Trust. First International Bank and Trust, full-service, family-owned, independent community bank built on the bond between employees and their customers. Founded in 1910. As the punt going from right to left will settle around the 40. No, it's called the 41 before Dickinson picks it up. Had a little bit of backspin on it, but Brian Leggett is going to make sure that one stops right there at the 41. Well, now we head on over into the second quarter. Both teams have made defensive stops. Now it looks back on to a field position battle. You had both punters have to punt one out. Defense is standing strong after it was the offenses early on in the first quarter. Settle in with some nice defense for Fargo South. Gave their offense great real estate to work with. They punched in for 2 scores, but now after Dickinson was able to get a touchdown of their own, it's been a defensive battle on back-to-back possessions. So looks like a penalty coming up on penalty flag, going to be thrown on DHS. Move that around 5 yards. Would have been a 1st and 10. We'll replay it, make it 1st and 5. First down and 5, ball at the 46, right on the tip of the tail of the Blue Hawk at midfield. As Silas Johnson, quick snap, gets a little jump there from the Dickinson side, and after looking at the referee in stripes, they will say it's encroachment and make that a free first down. Move the chains. Hey, that's a great hard count there for Silas Johnson. Might as well, right when you think the least it's going to happen there for Dickinson High, as it looks like Easton Blauer, the one called on the penalty. And that will be enough to bring it across the midfield line. Across midfield for Fargo South. Silas Johnson hands it off to Gray. Gray shows his speed, has some blockers, will pick up a first down, then some as he's tackled at the 32. Stopped by Dylan Glauser, but it's Henry Gray able to pick up a big run to get the offense churning. Nice again tackle there by number 2 of Dylan Glauser. As Glauser there, able to wrap him up. Great offensive and defensive player for Dickinson High, as now Gray going to be booted out to left. Looks for a swing pass. They're not going to throw it to him. Instead, they'll go deep to Drew Kessel. Underthrown, 50-50 ball off a deflection, and it is hauled in by Drew Kessel. The 6'7" tight end with D1 offers makes it a 16-7 game in favor of Fargo South. Let's see it here. Silas Johnson off his back foot. 50-50 ball off a defender and into the arms of Drew Kessel. Nice catch there for the Bruin tight end, and he has his squad up early. 16-7 in the early start of quarter number 2. Now they'll bring back in Nesson for the PAT. That looks like it is good, and we'll make it 17-7 Fargo South right here on the PSP Network. 11:14 remaining in quarter number 2. Don't go anywhere.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Fargo South scoring their second touchdown on the day. A connection between Silas Johnson and Drew Kessel, making it 17-7 Fargo South. The visitors up front in the first half of this ball game, as ball going to go into the end zone as we take a look at that last touchdown for Fargo South. As here it is again, Silas Johnson lets it go, 30-plus yarder off the defender into the hands of Kessel, and it's put him up by 2 scores. Up by 2 scores, and there's the kicker Nissen, who's been sharp today. He's got a field goal and a couple of PATs his way and has contributed up for the Bruins to be up by 10. 11-14 in the early goings of quarter number 2. After it seemed like DHS started to have momentum on their side, then it was Fargo South that was able to close it out. But here comes Bowden with a big-time run. Powerful run by Bowden, but a flag comes out. Let's take a look at that run here as Bowden able just to lower the shoulder. Look at this run. Bowden gets out to the outside, lowers the shoulder. I'm not sure how he wasn't taken down there and still goes an extra about 10 yards. However, getting word here, it is going to be holding on the offense. So negates the big run from the senior running back Cameron Bowden. But showing out his big play potential on the ground. Now 1st and 20 coming up on the way. As direct snap to Stevenson, he's going to fish around there. He'll stay on the ground, work around some blockers, and just inch away, making it around 2nd and 12, excuse me. Smart play there, nice play call for the Mavericks. Don't need to get all that penalty yardage back in one go. Inch away at it. Smart play call, get a few yards, and again, building that momentum. Looks like it's construction night over on the with the student section for Dickinson. All in their construction gear. Great to see all the student participation here tonight. As flag going out, Stevenson ducks underneath. He'll take off, use his wheels as he bounces to the outside, ushered out of bounds by a Gray. But again, Wood could be coming back once more. Definitely a lot of laundry on the field here in the first half of action. It's going to be a legal formation on Dickinson High. Again, in that game last week between Dickinson, Trinity, and Bowman County, there was flags here and there, but not too much. I think there's probably been more flags here in the first half of this ball game than the entire game we had last week. As the Mavericks get out of the huddle on a 2nd 18. After the illegal formation call on the team in the blue and or in the orange and black, Stevenson gets the snap. Great protection, has some time, delivers a strike just out of the reach of Paxton Leeson. Leeson has been one of his go-to targets here in the start of the 2025 campaign. It was the first touchdown for the Mavericks with those two connecting. And they've been trying to get on the same page here early. As Leeson walks back in, he'll take a little talk there with Stevenson as they join back into the DHS huddle. Again, the Mavericks 4-5 last year, 2-3 in West Region play. Both teams are receiving votes to start the preseason poll. Lots of pressure. Stevenson somehow, Magician Act gets away. Pump fakes, and he will get his way into the initial line of scrimmage and even add in a yard. There's a nice gain of about 9 for Stevenson, as he was able to be the magic man and work his way out of pressure and get back in a couple of yards, but now it's going to bring up 4th and 8 and back into the punt team. As Colby Fasthorse will check out, going to have some words with his quarterback, trying to get on the same page as punt goes up. Drops in at the 50, friendly roll for Dickinson. Hits at the 50-yard line and will go all the way down to the 32. An 18-yard friendly roll for DHS will now bring up Fargo South's offense to start at the 32-yard line, and they'll have some their work cut out for them. But a successful drive last time out for Fargo South ended with a touchdown to the big man, Drew Kessel. Kessel last season, just as a sophomore, may I remind you, when he was 6'6", now he stands at 6'7". Drew Kessel, 48 catches, almost 600 yards, had 8 touchdowns last year for the Bruins. And you got a guy that has that much size advantage over your opponents, especially when you get to the red zone. You got to find them, and they did that certainly last year. Then it picked up right where they left off as Silas Johnson now fakes the handoff to a Gray. Here's the pressure, and there's the sack by Easton Blower. Blower in with the sack, and let's take a look on your screen here. Blower on the bottom of the line gets a great jump and really read that well. Initially makes that step into the running back in case it was actually handed off. Realizes James Gray does not have it, so it's all head-on, full pursuit right to Silas Johnson. Great defensive effort there by Blower. Now Blower was on that left side. Now he's going to go on to the top of your screen now, trying to get pressure on both sides of the field. Throw incomplete by Silas Johnson as Johnson was looking in direction of Will Rieger, a sophomore that had a pair of catches last year as a freshman. That's all what it's about, trying to get some of those younger underclassmen reps at a young age. You see a lot of times, when you get down to 9-man and single A, you see sometimes quite a few freshmen and sophomores start. Here tonight, these two teams both only have about 4 or less freshmen on their team. I think Fargo South has 4 freshmen, and Dickinson, I don't think, has a freshman on the varsity roster, at least to start the season. As false start going to be called on Fargo South, and what was already going to be 3rd and long is going to be 3rd and longer. Push it back even a little bit more. But Silas Johnson has looked good so far as a sophomore quarterback. He's got his favorite receivers all kind of picked out. Let's see who he goes to here. 3rd and 21. Johnson looks to throw to Kessel, in and out of the hands of the defense, as it's Paxton Leeson who breaks it up and forces 4th down on the Bruins. And look at this here, as brought to you by Ryan Family Dealerships. Plenty of time there for Johnson. Get that one, throws into double coverage, and Leeson and company able to knock that one out before Kessel could get his hands on that one. We saw Kessel have a touchdown earlier where the defense kind of tipped it to him. Low snap, going to get away from Nissen. On the pursuit is the Mavericks trying to get there, but Nissen rolls out to his left, gets back to the line of scrimmage there, and then some. Maybe a gain of 3, but regardless, a great defensive stop for DHS, and now they are sniffing the Serve Pro red zone as they'll start with excellent field position at the 24. Well, not many times do you get to start your offensive drive at your opponent's 24-yard line. And when you do, you got to make it work. You got to cash it in for some points. Let's see what this new coaching staff, led by Dawson McLaughlin and Tiger Fry, call for. Again, Dawson McLaughlin calling the shots, but looks like Tiger Fry running the offensive plays. Fry was a head coach at Hart River the last couple seasons. But McLaughlin called on his old Dickinson State buddy to help him out on the coaching staff here at DHS. Handoff goes for a loss of 2. Bring up now 2nd and 12. Couple substitutions coming in and out. Coming in is Shane Ciani. He got a couple of catches last year, 5 catches, just under a catch per game a season ago. Now stands at 5'11" as Ciani going to join Glaser on the right side of the field. Leeson and Pullins on the left. Fake it to Leeson. They're going to go to the end zone to Pullins, and he catches it right on the pylon for a DHS touchdown. Great play call by McLaughlin and Fry. Turns into 6 for the Mavericks. Fakes it to Leeson. Fargo South's defenders bite, and it allows Pullins to be wide open as he able to hold it on the pylon. Great play call as they've been continuing to do that wheel route to Leeson, and they've been throwing in his direction every time he's done it. Fargo South saw the wheel route. They tried to bite, and DHS said, hey, we got you where we want you there, and found Pullins. Nice throw for Stevenson. Nice catch for Pullins. And the kick is good. As back to a 1-possession game right here on the PSP Network. Dickinson's second touchdown on the day brings them within 3 when we return on the PSP Network.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FinRun SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Nate Stevenson to Caleb Pullins brings DHS within 3 of Fargo South. Right here at the Bijou Activity Center, they'll boot it off, and it is picked on up by Fargo South, and quickly going in is Kobe Simmers as he's going to be pushed back and is going to be settling in around the 27-yard line. Big thanks out to our sponsors that bring this game possible to you right here on the PSP Network. Contact Farsted Oil today. Find out their skilled sales team can help you achieve your wholesale fuel, mobile lubricants, and DEF needs. Proudly serving North Dakota, Montana, western Minnesota since 1938 and committed to outstanding customer service and reliability. Farsted Oil. So big thanks out to Farsted Oil. Again, big thanks out to BSN, Northern Plains Heating and Air, and Minot State for bringing you coverage of today's game. Well, after a successful ending of drive for DHS, now it's back to work for Fargo South. Here comes Henry Agray as he is powering his way on in for a Bruin first down. One play, one first down on this opening next drive for Fargo South. Big gap there, big hole in Agray. Sniffed it out and turns it for a first down. Ball now at the 42, 7-10 remaining in the second quarter. Agray bounces out, sheds a tackler. Still plenty of time to work as he works now into the outside of the numbers, and he'll issue his way out once more. Right around midfield, and here comes Agray. Henry Agray, have yourself a day, as we knew he's going to be a big-time player today, and so far has definitely looked up to it. As Silas Johnson calling for the play, 2nd and 4. DHS slow to get to the line on the defensive front. Silas Johnson quickly passed that one by Drew Kessel as he gets drilled to the ground, but nothing's going to be called there, and as it shouldn't, as nice play defensively by the Maverick of Colby Fast Horse, as he already made contact with Kessel, and sometimes you don't know if that player's caught the ball or not, so you just got to drive him down, but Kessel could not hold that one in the mittens. Kessel works on the right side of the field with his teammate, Carter Shambaugh. 6 inches separates those two. As here comes the hand at the barnacle, as DHS everywhere. Mavericks defensively make a big-time play on third down. They brought the pressure, and it pays off. They brought the house, and they stopped them short. Now it's decision time, 4th and 4. 4th and 4, and it looks like right around midfield, as Fargo South and Tyler Kessel going to be looking to punt this one away, as they'll issue back in Caleb Nissen, who's been sharp today. He's had some nice punts. He's also 2 for 2 in the field goal team. Or has a field goal and 2 PATs, excuse me, as that ball going to drop at the 15 and will slowly roll its way on over to about the 10. So DHS not going to have as great as real estate as they had last offensive drive, where they were able to start it at the opponent's 24-ish, and now they're going to be in their own about 11 to start this drive. So instead of going about 24 yards, going to have to go about 90 yards to get into pay dirt, with 6:12 remaining before halftime. And a game that has been very even. Tides have been able to turn on a dime, but two teams that have had each other's numbers when they've got the momentum on their side. Stevenson motioning in his receiver of Tucker Broughton from the left to the right. Quick handoff, not going to go anywhere as Henry Agray in on the tackle. Agray bounces hard off that right side, didn't allow anyone to pick him up as he quickly gets to the backfield. Offered a little present on over to the running back. Now a quick little substitution. They'll bring in off Landon Randalls, and Shane Ciani comes back in. So substitute an extra running back for a wide receiver, and maybe this is tipping you into the signs. This could be a passing down for 2nd and 13. But then you got to be careful if you're Stevenson, as you're right on the ends of your end zone, as he'll fire a pass in and out of the hands of Ciani. He checks in but cannot quite haul it in. If he would have made the catch, he would have been about 2 yards shy of the first down marker, but that's going to bring up 3rd and 13. But what you have to do if you're Stevenson is exactly that. Obviously, you want to plant your feet. You want to go through all the proper mechanics to get a good ball off. But when your foot is in that blue part of the end zone and you see multiple Bruins right at you, sometimes you just got to get the ball off. No matter how pretty that ball looks, you just got to sling it out of the hands. Do not need to give Fargo South 2 freebie points on the board. 2 receivers to opposite sides. Stevenson steps up, avoids a tackle right at the 1, avoids a safety, and now will take off running. works his way to the 20-yard line. 20-21. He looks like he's going to be about a yard, maybe too short, depending on where they'll field it, and they're going to field it right there at the 20. What a run there from Stevenson. After facing some pressure, was somehow able to turn in what was almost a near safety into almost a first down. Now it's 4th and 1 at their own 20-yard line, and Dawson McLaughlin and company saying, hey, let's roll the dice here. I don't know if they're going to, they have a time on their back pocket, so we'll see if they actually snap it or not. And they don't have to. Stevenson with the hard count gets the Bruins to bite. Javon Anderson crosses the line. He was trying to make sure that if Dickinson would have snapped that ball, that they would have pressure. I would have liked to see if Stevenson would have took that snap or not. I don't know if it was just a hard count snap or not on 4th and 1. Obviously just 1 yard to get, but if you don't get it, it would have been a great field position for Fargo South, who has a kicker that can make field goals. We saw that today with Nissen. Time keeps rolling, 4:15 remaining. Ethan Luna now, the receiver out to the outside. Now they bring in Leeson. Fakes the jet sweep handoff to Leeson, and Stevenson going to keep it on the ground for a gain of about 2. Liked what they did there with Leeson. They've been really trying to put him in motion. Use him as a decoy, use him as the playmaker. They've been using him all sorts of different ways. As Caleb Polans now has a quick talk to Stevenson. Polans pulled in the last touchdown. About a 30-yard strike from Mr. Nate Stevenson. 3 receivers to the left. Leeson, Polans over to the left side with Luna, and right side it's Glosser all by himself. Lots of pressure, and bringing him down, maybe getting a yard out of the play, but almost kind of that sack territory. Lots of pressure up front for the Bruins, and let's take a look at the instant replay of this defensive front. Lots of pressure. They're rushing 5-6 players, and Stevenson had nowhere to go. Timeout taken. We'll take one with them. 3rd and 8 when we return right here on the PSP Network.
Wondering whether you need wealth management? Wealth management is a multifaceted offering that should provide opportunities for growth and security. At BNC National Bank, we pride ourselves on putting your priorities first and providing practical, objective financial advice. Our team can help you assess your goals and take stock of your assets to determine whether wealth management is right for you. Speak to a member of our team today to learn more. Member FDIC.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
3rd and 8 as we come back in. Stevenson fires a quick pass, just dropped by Dylan Glosser. Trying to quickly get back in after the timeout, trying to get that quick strike, but Glosser not able to come away with it, and that's going to force a punt coming up for the Mavericks with 3:10 remaining here before halftime. 17-14 Bruins. Fargo South leading in this one, but it's been anyone's ball game here in the first half. Punt booted right to left. Ball going to drop, have a friendly roll, and even more friendly. Continues to go all the way down the field, continuing, and it will finally settle in at the 20. Big time kick by Jackson Braun. And lots of excitement there. Special teams have played in a big part today. Paxton Braun has looked sharp, as well as Nissen on the other side. These two kickers showing, hey, these special teamers can make impacts, and they have flipped the field. Braun has had a couple of very friendly and nice rolls, but hey, That's the beauty of punting. It don't stop where it hits. It stops where it stops rolling, and it kept on going all the way down the field and forces the Bruins to set up shop at the 20. They're going to try to quickly hurry to the line with 10 seconds on the play clock. Now Silas Johnson going to try to take his time here. Now he'll set fire, and that one short of the intended target as he was trying to issue that out to Kobe Simmers. Simmers has been the intended target for a couple passes today is in his junior campaign. 5 catches last year for just about 50 yards. But with the absence of Amari Taylor, we haven't seen Amari Taylor in tonight's action. It has allowed Kobe Simmers to get some looks on his way. As a Gray just showing, hey, I'm faster than you, want to try to bounce out to the outside. Does get there before being pushed out of bounds by Isaac Lowry. Gray's speed on this, once he can bounce to the outside, has been unmatched. But he did a lot of running there on the outside, but only comes out to a gain of 2. And that's that thing, is if you could just keep him moving horizontally, then no harm, no foul. But he's so good where once he can get to the outside, then he goes up north, and that's where you don't want him to go. Silas Johnson, pass. Great defensive effort by Paxton Leeson, able to shut down Simmers there and force a Bruin 4th down. Let's check it out here. Brought to you by Ryan Family Dealerships. Great way to jump the read by Leeson, and even the flex afterward. Leeson having fun as the Mavericks defense makes a stand. Well, here we go. We saw a great punt by Paxton Braun just a little bit ago now. Here comes the rebuttal from Caleb Nissen. Oh, that's got a big spiral there and hits around the 48 and will be stopped around the 47-yard line. So the Mavericks from their own 47. Pretty solid field position, though, regardless. Right around midfield is where the Mavs will set up shop in almost a 2-minute warning. 2-minute drill coming up for the Mavericks. Seeing if they can tie or take the lead right before halftime. Or if Fargo South's defense can come up with another stop to keep the score where it remains. All that to be seen here the next 2:35 of game time. 3 receivers to the left. 1 to the right. Bowden switches from the right hip to the left hip of his quarterback Stevenson, who delivers a nice strike on over to Glauser. Glauser hauls it in for a gain of about 6. Was able to beat the defender of Jackson Lewis. Haul that in and hold on to it. Flips the field and now are into the other side of the 47. Basically from the 47 to the 47. As DHS now into Bruin territory. Polans checks to see if he's onside here. Pressure coming by a Gray. Quick pass from Stevenson. Does he haul it in? Yes, he does. Let's take a check in on the catch there from number 14 in the black and orange of Shane Ciani. Ciani was able to haul it in just a yard short of the first down marker. And Ciani's been one of those players that has been one of those rotational players. Bring him in, bring him out. But when he just came in, he's made that impact. Has made it 3rd and short. 3rd and 1 with 1:25 remaining before halftime. Back to Ciani, the ball goes. Nice blocking on the outside by Glauser. And there's another first down. Another Maverick first down. Goes right back on that little wheel route. Great blocking by Glauser. Opens it up for Ciani. And here comes a timeout to be taken by Dawson McLaughlin and the Mavericks. 1:15 remaining before the half. Dickinson moving the ball offensively, trying to take a lead late in the second quarter. Let's take a break right here on the PSP Network.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
Welcome back into the PSP Network. I'm Brock Weidner, joining you from the Bijou Activity Center as Fargo South 17, Dickinson High 14, but the mighty Mavericks starting to move down the field after a couple of nice plays for Shane Ciani and company. Now they're ready to rock. 1st and 10 coming up at the 35. Stevenson facing pressure, steps into the pocket, hit while he delivers a strike to Shane Ciani again. Shane Ciani, have yourself a drive as he continues to put his stamp of approval on this Maverick drive. 3 catches for Ciani. 3 catches in probably the last 4 plays, if that, for the Mavericks. But we saw that with Dickinson High earlier where they used Leeson as the bait. They'd go to Leeson, and then they baited Fargo South to go to Leeson, and then they threw it to Poland. So they're doing the same thing here. Going Ciani, and then we'll go a different direction. Stevenson throws one deep, trying to go to the end zone, and that one goes out of play. Intended target, Dylan Glauser. Hey, mine as well. It was 2nd and 1. Kind of your freebie play. If you want to take a shot to the end zone, might as well take it there, because now you can negotiate this around a little bit more. You can go 3 and 1. You can 3rd and 1. You can run it back up, try to get a first down. But a nice way to just take a shot there on 2nd and short. Initially, they're going to throw in someone else, but they're going to now switch it to Joseph Heinley. That's going to be coming in. He'll quickly get onto the field to be the 11th player for Dickinson. Here on the 3rd and 1. Heinley joins the offensive front. Well, they hand it off to Cam Bowden. Bringing Leeson in motion. They'll swing it out to Leeson. Leeson works his way for a first down. And that is where we are getting this game, this little chess match. And Dawson McLaughlin goes back to the bread and butter of the Paxton Leeson little bubble play there. Right when you almost kind of forgot about it, you bring it back in on a 3rd and 1 as they were bringing the pressure up the middle. They thought it was going to go to Bowden. Stevenson right outside the Serpro red zone, and he is going to be brought down on a knee, and that's going to be a sack. With 39 seconds remaining, Dickinson forced to take a timeout, and we will take one with them right here on the PSP Network. Don't go anywhere.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with answers and man.
Welcome back in right here to the PSP Network after the Fargo South sack pushes Nate Stevenson and the Dickinson High Mavericks back to their own 28. So now it brings up 2nd and about 18 with 39 seconds remaining. Lots of pressure. Kessel almost gets to Stevenson. Somehow gets away, lobs up a pass, and it goes incomplete. Oh, man. Lots of pressure for the Bruins. Pressure on both sides, but Stevenson once again has shown that he has been quite nimble and has worked his way out of pressure time and time again. And that's what makes quarterbacks so fun to watch, especially in today's day and age. They'll be just able to scramble out, keep your eyes downfield, and try to make something work. 3rd and 18, 33 seconds remaining before halftime. Stevenson, crowded pocket, steps up, and he steps into a sack. Kessel grabbed the legs and was later finished off by Jacob Arctic. So there it is there, just nowhere to go. And now 8 seconds left. Dickinson going to try to elect to go for a PAT. And there's some counting. "12 men on the field for DHS. And I think that very well could be the end of the quarter, as Fargo South saying there should be a 10-second runoff. And they definitely do have a case. So Fargo South wants this to be the end of the quarter and head to halftime. DHS, though, will huddle back up and now go in, and now there's a whistle as they come out, and that will be the end of the half. So Crew does get it right there on the 10-second runoff, and that will close it out into halftime as Fargo South leads 17-14 over Dickinson High in the Week 1 of the 2A football season. We're taking a break right here on the PSP Network. Don't go anywhere as the halftime show brought to you by Charbonneau Car Center coming up after a short break.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow the PSP Network on all social media platforms and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. PSP Network. It's game day.
An injury can happen anywhere, at any time, to anyone. It's not really something you can schedule on your calendar. But when it happens to you and it's not your fault, there's one law firm to remember. That firm is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We live here and take pride in helping our community. We know this area inside and out. We put in the work and fight for what's right so justice can prevail for you. That is what we're all about. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
The foundation of the financial planning approach at Legacy Financial Partners is a personal relationship. Our unique and collaborative approach to financial planning starts with your dreams, not just the numbers. We will work with you regularly to take action to update your plan as your needs evolve, recommending products and services that are right for your situation.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota, and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with answers in Mandan.
Meet Gary. Gary is an ordinary guy, but right now Gary has car trouble. Gary doesn't know about magic towing. Don't be like Gary. Remember the name and the number. It's Magic Towing. We are here to help 24/7. Magic Towing in Western North Dakota. Don't be like Gary. Remember the name and the number. It's Magic Towing.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Near the campus of Dickinson State, right here on the Bijou Activity Center, I'm Brock Weidner, joining you for Fargo South versus Dickinson High, the first ever game for the Maverick namesake for Dickinson High, and it's been a fun one, but Fargo South leads right now at the end of the first
presentation on the
half.
PSP Network is proudly brought to you by...
As again, it is right now over on this side as we take a look over at the check in there on the track and field. Fargo South under track and has their track and field kind of being redone, so their football field not quite ready for Fargo South, and they'll be playing a lot of away games this year, are the Bruins. I think they only play 2 home games for Fargo South, but they lead right now on the road 17-14. 17-14 at the half. As let's take a look at how the scoring has started. And it all started with Dickinson High getting the ball first. Got the ball first, but it was a fumble on the first play. Gave Fargo great field position, and South was able to punch it in. Tate Barnacle with an 8-yard touchdown run. Then Fargo South was able to get right back in it, get some great field position, and Caleb Nissen was able to get a field goal 10-zip. But before the first quarter would expire, it was DHS getting that momentum back. It was Nate Stevenson finding Paxton Leeson 10-7. Second quarter action, well, it was a kind of an awkward play. Silas Johnson goes deep into the end zone. It was off of a DHS defender and into the hands of a 6'7" tight end, Drew Kessel, make it 17-7. DHS then would answer back with a 20-yard touchdown from Stevenson to Pollins after faking it to Leeson. The defense bot and allowed Pollins to be wide open for the strike, 17-14. DHS had chances there in prime real estate just outside the Serve Pro red zone, but was not able to score the touchdown at the end as time would expire on a 10-second runoff, and that's where it brings us here, 17-14. Well, let's take a break right here on the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we are going to take a look at some scores around 2A, as well as some notable scores. We're going to be taking a look at Dickinson Trinity, as well as they got a big game against Shiloh Christian Knight. Don't go anywhere.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors LLC and Planning Team Financial.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Welcome back into the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show right here on the PSP Network. Again, a halftime score, Fargo South 17, Dickinson 14. Charbonneau Car Center brings you the halftime show here at Charbonneau Car Center. They know that drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richardson, Belfield, Williston, and North Dakota and Glendive, Montana work hard, play hard, and need a car that can keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. Visit them online at charbonneaumotors.com. Well, as we talked about it, let's take now a check-in at scores. A round 2A is where we will start. Same division these two teams are vying to be a part of, as both teams receiving votes to start the year in the preseason poll. But as we take a look here for Grand Forks Central, victorious over Bismarck St. Mary's. So number 5, St. Mary's goes down to Grand Forks Central 23-12 today on the road. Jamestown up over Wahpeton 20-6 in the fourth quarter. Minot North leads over Williston 27-0. It's all Kindred over Devils Lake in the third quarter, 42-12. Central Cass over Watford City, 28-0 at the half. And the 2A champs from last year, now they are a 3A squad. They're taking on Grand Forks Red River in what would be a 2A championship rematch, but now they're both separate divisions, but West Fargo Horse leads 21-0. Now let's move out to 3A schools. Shanley and Century tied at 6 apiece. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. All Bismarck Legacy over West Fargo Cheyenne 34-18 with 11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Fargo Davies over Minot 42-0 at the half, and West Fargo and Bismarck tied 6 apiece. Fargo North leads over Mandan 27-14. Couple notable 11A games around the area here in the Dickinson area. Dickinson Trinity, after having to sweat a game out last week against Bowman County, ended up winning by the stop with a stop at the 1-yard line. They have propelled themselves to a big lead over Shiloh Christian, 46-14 heading into the fourth quarter. Shiloh Christian is the quote-unquote 6th team in 11A, as they were the first team in the receiving votes category. Dickinson Trinity number 4 this week, but it is all Titans here in the contest. Keeping up with those Region 4 squads, Southern McLean over Hazen 44-6. As well as Central McLean receiving votes last week, up 54-0 over South Prairie Max. Also to note, heading into the fourth quarter, the number 1 team in 11A, Velva Drake Canamoose Garrison, trailing against receiving votes Harvey Wells County 10-0. That was an 11A. Now we go on to 9-man. We're going to take a look here on this side of the state. Linton HMB, 4th team in 9-man, leads over Standing Rock 58-0 in the third. Also locally, Grand County Flasher leads over Beach 41-0. And taking a look at a few more here. Richardson, Taylor, Hebron, Hettinger County, no score update there, but Napoleon Gackle Streeter leads over Kidder County 18-14 in the fourth quarter. Those two teams impressed at the Region 4 Rumble. Well, let's take a break right here on the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show right here on the PSP Network.
The foundation of the financial planning approach at Legacy Financial Partners is a personal relationship. Our unique and collaborative approach to financial planning starts with your dreams, not just the numbers. We will work with you regularly to take action to update your plan as your needs evolve, recommending products and services that are right for your situation.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's gonna go, so.
Hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved. Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Welcome back here as we end out the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. We jump back in as we're ready for third quarter action between Dickinson High and Fargo South. Well, 24 minutes to decide a winner, 12 in the third quarter, 12 more in the fourth. But it's anyone's game here at the halfway point, 17-14. We have another fun one brewing here in the Queen City. Well, let's get ready and rocking. As ball goes left to right across your screen. Little bouncer as it goes into the hands of the return man, but he's not able to return it much. As Dickinson High's gunner able to get there. It's Bowden leading the charge. Bowden's been everywhere so far. Cameron Bowden has made impacts on offense, defense, and now special teams with a big-time hit to get to trying to get that momentum and energy on their side to start quarter number 3. As we talked about, lots of big games going on throughout the state. You have some number ones right now in the fourth quarter trying to pull it up with a win. At West Fargo Cheyenne back against the wall. Velvet Drake Hanmoose Garrison back against the wall. But here two teams receiving votes, seeing if they can get their way into the top 5. And with St. Mary's right now on the wrong side of their game right now, and they are in at number 5 in the top 5 polls in 2A. That could open the door for the winner of this game to get enough votes to be in the top 5 next week. What better way to say, hey, plead your case than beat a fellow team that's in the same situation you are. Just sniffing the top 5 rankings. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Little bubble screen. Silas Johnson, though, he wants it all. He's going to go for it all. Into the hands of Simmers as he is wrestled down. A big-time pitch and catch for Fargo South. And let's take a check on the Ryan Family Dealerships replay. What a beautiful ball thrown by Silas Johnson. Silas Johnson right into the hands of Kobe Simmers. Simmers had 49 yards receiving last year. Well, with that catch alone, he might have as many of receiving yards as he had from last year. Here to start in game number 1. Silas Johnson hands it off to Gray. Great pursuit and a great team tackle. They're not going to quite get a Gray down, but they're going to say his forward motion did stop. It had enough black and orange jerseys around him to blow the play dead. As time working down here, 10:45 remaining in quarter number 3. Get a big-time play to start that drive for Fargo South. Now, what do they do the rest of the way? Just outside the Serve Pro red zone. Low snap, Johnson. He's got to pick it up. He picks it up back at the 40. He's got pressure. He gets popped as he throws one out of bounds to Kessel. Oh, what a big-time hit. You had a couple of different players there. Devin Height might have been the one to really level him off. You could add Devin Height as well as Easton Blower in pursuit. But Johnson took a licking on the play. Took a hit, but he's back up and ready to go. But 12 seconds on the play clock. Got to get back into the line. 3rd and about 14. Johnson with a Gray to his right hip. A high snap, hands it off to a Gray. Bounces off to the outside. Will be brought down by Caden Cheddar as they get back to about a little past the initial line of scrimmage. This will be stopped right at the 20-yard line, so it's at the 20, so that goes right into the Serve Pro Red Zone. Serve Pro Red Zone as field goal coming up. And when you have a kicker, that just makes it a lot easier. You don't have to go for a touchdown every single drive. And right now we have seen some nice kicking on display on both sides. As kicker now, Caleb Nissen going to boot one. And it's good. Caleb Nissen might have not been the starting kicker last year, but he has proven that he's a valuable asset to the Bruins this year. A couple of field goals, and he's got his squad up 20-14 right here on the PSP Network. Fargo South leads. Let's take a break right here on the PSP Network.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
Well, there's the man of the hour, Caleb Nissen. He has been sharp tonight for Fargo South. A pair of field goals, a pair of extra points, and he's helped do his part of keeping the Bruins on top in the scoreboard. And now you get to that point where it's a 6-point game. If Dickinson is able to get a touchdown, then you put the pressure on their field goal kicker or their 2-point conversion team. So far, kickers have looked really solid again. When you get to 2A and 3A, it's just a valuable asset. You don't see a lot of kickers at the single A or 9-man level. But when you get up to the higher ranks, some of these bigger schools, it comes up to be a pivotal as, again, you can score from the 20-yard line if you need be. So they're on a 35-yard punt from Nissen. And right where the 20-yard line where the ball will sit again. This time to set up shop for DHS. Stevenson, lots of pressure. Gets in on a slant. A nice little play there. Quick little shooter to Dylan Glauser. Let's take a look on that replay if we can get you to the pressure Fargo South brought. 5-6 Bruins right in front of the face of Stevenson. He's lucky there. He had Glauser ready to go. Had Glauser on the quick inside shot. And that defensive unit, oh, they are sharp. For Fargo South, they have put pressure on number 5 in black tonight. 8:55 remaining in the third. Fargo South leads by a touchdown. Cameron Bowden trying to power up. He needs a gain of 2 to get to the first down marker, and he might have just lost a yard on the play. Again, that defensive line has been powering here to start the second half for the Bruins. That's where the games are won and lost in the trenches. You see those big plays dazzle, but it all starts up of buying enough time for your quarterback or your running back to get some enough space to get those first downs, those big chunk plays. 3rd and 3. If you pick up 2 yards, it goes to 4th and 1. You might see Dawson McLaughlin and company try to go for it. They already did that before, deep in their own zone. Lots of pressure. They don't got to worry about it. A Gray bites on the hard count. Move the chains for the Mavericks as long as they're not called on a flinch. But no, it's going to be encroachment on the defense and a free first down that the Mavericks will take any day of the week. Another Maverick first down, and that's a key one to try to answer back after the Fargo South field goal. In this type of game, you want to answer back as quickly as possible. Leeson bubbles out there to go a handoff, and not going to go much as Bowden quickly wrapped up by the Bruins as Adron Wilson in on the tackle, the senior linebacker, making sure Bowden doesn't get ahead of steam and get those legs turning. Nice tackle there on the outside by Wilson. 7 minutes, just about 7 minutes remaining in the third. And just a beautiful night here in the Queen City. Great attendance as the Bijou Activity Center has seen many people come in the last couple of weeks. More pressure. Stevenson just gets away from a sack from Kessel. Now will power through, and that will be maybe a gain of 1 on the play, if not just back to the line of scrimmage. And we've seen Stevenson have to run all around in the backfield tonight. Has not made it easy. As Dickinson player down, just looks like a cramping situation. Again, you see a lot of that, especially in the early weeks. Get back in the electrolytes, get the pickle juice out. But now it'll be interesting to see what Dawson McLaughlin and company are going to try to draw up here on a 3rd and 10. It'd be a big-time situation coming up, 3rd and 10, trying to continue to keep that momentum on your side. As Shane Ciani going to bring in the electrolytes to run him on for his teammate on the ground there looks like that's Paxton Leeson. That was the handoff from Ciani to Leeson, and back to Ciani goes into the huddle. When Shane Ciani has entered in the game, he has been a part of that offense, and so keep an eye on number 14 in the black and orange. Even if they use him as a decoy, they have liked to bring him in to kind of have a change of pace wide receiver. As Paxton Leeson just trying to power off the field on his own will. As he'll be met at the 40 by his new head coach, Dawson McLaughlin. Again, Leeson had a touchdown earlier in this game in the first quarter for Dickinson. As one of their 2 receiving touchdowns in this contest. The other one going to Caleb Polans. In a passing game that has fired on all cylinders and might need to fire once more on a 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 at their own 32. Stevenson faces pressure on the outside, steps up in the pocket, delivers a bullet down low. Is it caught? Yes, it is, and right on cue, Shane Ciani. We said watch out for number 14, and there he is, Ciani, with the catch. And great work by Stevenson. Throwing it where only Ciani can get to. Ciani works his way back, sees that ball go down low. He gets lower, hauls it in, and moves the chains. See a shot there, Paxton Leeson trying to get all lumbered up there. Limbered up as, again, dealing with a couple of cramping early on, and again, that's going to be those week 1 woes of trying to get back in the swing of things. Especially on a nice day like this. It's a little hot to begin this game, but is now just very comfortable. Not hot, not cold, just the right weather here for a beautiful night. Here near the end of August in the Queen City. Polans goes from your bottom of the screen to the top of it, works from right to left. Stevenson fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. A Gray right there, and he will drop him. As a Gray flexing on Stevenson after the big sack from number 2 for Fargo South. Stevenson turns right into it. Left side of the line, crumbles, and it was all Henry Agray. Got the little pose at the end and everything right here on the Family Ride Dealerships flag on the play. So looks like there was a flag, but since the ball was not thrown, they'll pick up the ball. They'll pick up the flag. Nothing was called. 5:15 remaining in the third quarter. It has been one of those drives for Dickinson that you get you got to get put into these 3rd and long situations, but already twice they have made it first down in these 3rd and longs. Let's see if they can do it for a 3rd time to keep the drive alive. Stevenson facing pressure again. Throws it over the head of Pullins, and that ball goes incomplete. And here comes the punting unit. Punting unit comes out on the field. Jackson Braun looks to boot it away. From left to right, back to Silas Johnson's offense. As Anderson and Simmers await the return. Simmers on the right side of the field, Anderson on the left. And it looks like Anderson's going to come up to go grab that one. Almost muffs it there. Very dangerous and risky call for Anderson at the 40. Surprised he was willing to roll the dice on going after that ball, but he was able to beat it and haul it in securely. If he touches that one, that'll make it a live ball, and Dickinson could have maybe got a friendly present, but Anderson able to roll the dice and win out on it. A gambling man, it pays off for Anderson. He's making sure Dickinson's punting unit did not have another friendly bounce. We saw them have some friendly bounces that have went an extra 20, 25 yards tonight. Anderson said, hey, I'd rather set up shop at the 40 than the 15 any day of the week. Barnacle option out to the right, ball on the ground. Gray going to pick it up, and he'll power his way on for a few yards. Let's take a look there at that misexchange between Johnson and Gray. Just a little bit of an awkward, kind of high snap where Johnson kind of jumps up and was not able to get both mitts on that one and try to quickly offer when he didn't even have full possession of it, try to quickly just punch that on over to Gray. Will Rieger now comes in on the lone receiver to the left. A couple of receivers to the right. Johnson looks to the right. He wants it all. He goes to the right side of the field, up and over the head of the intended target, Carter Shambaugh. Shambaugh had an early catch in the first quarter, but since then has been relatively quiet. And Johnson tries to go to him there on a 2nd down. Now it's 3rd. 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6 for Silas Johnson and the Brew Crew. The Bruins in the white, yellow, and brown. A Gray motion to the left. Johnson, he's got his tight end down the middle. Kessel hauls it in, avoids a tackle. He's off to the races, to the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Drew Kessel. As Dickinson pulled within a touchdown, and Drew Kessel says no, make it 2 touchdowns. There you see at the back end of the play, makes the last defender miss, and then you look at how he finishes it off like a track and field runner, just crossing the goal line, extending out the head as Kessel turns it in for 6 for his 2nd touchdown on the day and puts Fargo South up 26-14. And now Neeson gets the PAT try that he makes it look easy. It remains perfect on the day, does Nissen, as Drew Kessel's 2nd touchdown pushes Fargo South up 27-14, less than 4 minutes remaining when we return in the 3rd quarter.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold on. Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
Welcome back in. Fargo South picking up a touchdown as we just last checked it. Coming up out of the break, as here it is, as there's Drew Kessel making a man miss with a big-time strike from Johnson to Kessel for the 2nd time. Those two have connected today, and now we go off and running. Every time on the kickoff for Nissen, it has been a touchback, and no different now as DHS returners have had no chance to do their job of returning that ball, as Nissen has been sharp on all cylinders. He has picked up a couple of field goals, a couple of PATs, and has not made Dickinson able to return a kickoff yet today. So that's a way to make an impact as a kicker, not just give him no shot and continuing to tally your own kind of points on the scoreboard. Talked about the key absence and graduation of their previous kicker in the pregame show, but Nissen says, hey, I got a leg too, and right now he's showing it. Stevenson faces pressure, and right now the defensive front has been everywhere for the Bruins. As you see there, coming up with the sack, it's Darion Williams. Right up the middle. And Stevenson has just not had time to get comfortable in the second half. Was able to avoid pressure, being able to scramble out well and use his legs to buy extra time in the first half. But right now, here in the third quarter, Fargo South's defense maybe was already at a 10, but they've moved it up to 11 on the scale. Getting that pressure. Stevenson, though, going to have plenty of time to sling it out this time. Gets a quick little pass out to Bowden. Maybe going to get an extra yard and push it into a 3rd and 12. Fargo South's defense right now has turned it up, and it's put them in the driver's seat as we're nearing the fourth quarter. Does Dickinson, though, have some magic? We've seen some great play calls, going for some big-time plays and plenty of time. Just 2 touchdowns separate these two teams with about 14 minutes of game action. Stevenson almost runs into his own teammate. Now he'll get out of the pocket. Works to the left, gets the block, gets the first down to the 40, the 45, crosses midfield before being brought down at the 40, the other team's 45. Stevenson does it again. Oh man, face pressure and almost tripped over his own teammate, but oh no, there's a flag on the play. Illegal block to the back on DHS, and that's going to negate the big-time play for Stevenson. But you got to tip your hat to the junior quarterback after facing pressure, stepping up in the pocket, running into your own running back. Faced off with about 2-3 white jerseys right around him, somehow vanishes and picks up a big-time play, but again, the flag will bring it all the way back. It would have been at the opponent's 45. Ball set up at their own 17. 3rd and 13. Let's try it again. Stevenson. Pressure on the outside. Quick little screen pass. Not going to work. Again, forcing quick plays as they try to get a screen pass to Bowden. But it hits off, I believe, a lineman's leg, and that will bring out the punting team. Punting squad back up. Jackson Braun looking to boot it back over to the Bruins. As Bruins making some late second adjustments. Braun waiting. Gets the ball there at the 2. Now he'll boot it away. Picked up at the 46 by Anderson. Javon Anderson, lightning in a bottle, flashes his way to the 25, but there's a flag on the play. Flag on the play at the 24. That flag was thrown before Anderson was near the area. Holding on the return team. First down, they'll just mark off the yards there. So mark back the chain markers, bring the chain game back a couple yards, and that's where South will set up shop. As the DHS cheerleaders try to get a roar out of the student section, as they're pumped up, all in their construction fits here tonight. Great to see all the student engagement. They're having fun here on a Friday night at the Bijou Activity Center. Can't beat these facilities here on the southwest part of the state. here in the Queen City. Gracious host Dickinson State. As Gray gets the handoff, almost hit from behind there, and if the defender would have been able to get him, that ball could have been popped loose as Devin Height in on the tackle. Marks it up to about 2nd and 7. Big thanks out to our sponsors making this broadcast possible: Minot State, Northern Plains Heating and Air, BSN, and Farstead Oil. Without this game, without our great partners, would not be possible, as Johnson wide open to Kessel. In and out as he was trying to make sure he was in bounds there and tight roping and just got away from him. Let's take a look here. Wide open at about 5 yards from the defender, but had to kind of look back towards that ball, and it drops away incomplete. That could have been the hat trick for Johnson and Kessel in that connection. That's been one of his go-to receivers. They connected on 2 touchdowns thus far. That could have been the third one, and that could have been a big one nearing the end of the third quarter to try to really drive away from Dickinson. Third down. Hands it off to Gray. Bouncing to the outside. He's going to move back about 5 yards before charging back up ahead. And sealing the edge is Cheddar as he will push him out of bounds for a gain of 2. So Fargo South elects on the 3rd and 7 to run the ball. Gets a few yards, 4th and 5 for Tyler Kossel's Bruins. Going to be a long field goal, even though their field goal unit has been spectacular today. So they're making 4th and 8, as initially that marker was around 4th and 5, but they make the adjustments, 4th and 8, and they're going to take a timeout. Bruins timeout. They lead 27-14, 1:08 remaining in the third. When we come back right here on the PSP Network.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess, and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
Welcome back into the PSP Network. I'm Brock Weidner, joining here. Fargo South leads over Dickinson 27-14. Again, tonight's game brought to you in part by Minot State. The best way to predict your future is to create it with over 100 areas of study at Minot State. You'll earn a degree for the career of your desire, with more than 96% of recent Minot State grads employed or continuing their education. MSU grads get jobs, period. Minot State University, be seen, be heard, be you. Well, 4th and about 8 coming up for Fargo South. In a drive where they're trying to put themselves in the driver's seat. They already are, 27-14. What could be big if they get a first down here is they would more than likely able to carry a 13-point lead headed into the fourth quarter and have prime real estate when they enter into the fourth. Johnson with the hard snap. DHS don't bite. Johnson, quick delivery. Into the hands of the receiver who slipped on the play, but it did not matter. Hauling it in is Simmers. Let's take a check on that. As a nice little play there. Simmers able to make the catch before being absolutely leveled, but slipped in early on his route, returns his footing, comes back, he catches the ball, and absorbs a big-time shot from the Maverick defensive back unit. Johnson to a Gray, and the Mavericks read that one like a book. Leading the charge on the tackle is Colby Fasthorse. And that's what you need to do. And you know, a Gray is just so dominant when he can get outside. You got to seal it, and Fasthorse does that. Seals the outside, delivers a great shot. As 4 seconds separates the game clock and the play clock, and it looks like Fargo South content with going up at the end of the third quarter 27-14. They'll lead by 13 as we enter the fourth right here on the PSB Network. Don't go anywhere.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Fourth quarter nearing here as we are about to get ready for the fourth quarter action. Fargo South leads over Dickinson 27-14 in the first game under the name the Mavericks for DHS, seeing if they got some fourth quarter magic up in store. Again, big thanks out to Farstead Oil, bringing you today's contest. Contact Farstead Oil today to find out their skilled sales team can help you achieve your wholesale fuel, mobile lubricants, and DEF needs. Silas Johnson fakes the handoff, plays it out to Simmers on the slant route, and that's going to be enough for a Bruin first down. First play in the fourth quarter, a positive one for Fargo South. That is trying to look for the quote-unquote nail in the coffin, trying to make sure they are well ahead here in this one. But still, anyone's ball game if Dickinson will need a stop here. Down by 13, and even if Dickinson can hold them into a field goal, that keeps it into a two-possession game. So right now, if you are the Mavericks or a fan of the Mavericks, you're hoping that they can limit the touchdown, keep Fargo South out of the end zone. If you do that, it's still a two-possession game, regardless if it's 13 or 16 points. Now, yes, you would need two-point conversions, but still, I would still feel pretty all right if I'm Dawson McLaughlin with to get two touchdowns in the fourth quarter. But you don't want to have to go and get three scores with less than 12 minutes on the board. Is it doable? Yes. Is it ideal? No. Those are the question and answer there. Looks like injured Dickinson High Maverick on the play was Shane Ciani. He's been a key player on the offense for DHS, but going to be injured on a defensive play for the Mavs. As he'll come off, take a quick little discussion with his coaching staff as he joins the bench. Goes on the sideline of Ciani, 25 seconds on the play clock. 11:30 on the game clock here in the fourth quarter. Up by 13 of the Bruins. Anderson in the motion. Takes the handoff to a Gray. Looks to Anderson, and he is belted hard. A big-time hit by Colby. Fast Horse. Fast Horse laying the boom. Let's take a look at that one on the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay. It's seen some great replays in this game today. Big thanks out to Ryan Family Dealerships for bringing you the replays of the contest. For 50 years, Ryan has been a trusted name for car buyers in western North Dakota. Shop their entire inventory at driveryan.com or visit one of their 5 locations in Minot and Williston. Second and long, Johnson looking to Kessel in the end zone, and that's batted away. Dylan Clauser able to get there. Able to patrol the area, him as well as Paxton Leeson over there. And you know, once you get near that Serve Pro red zone, Drew Kessel is weapon number 1, top of the list for South. When you got the height advantage, 6'7", over a couple inches over all the defensive backs and linebackers on DHS, you know he's probably going to be at the top of that list. Not an easy player to guard whatsoever. Silas Johnson looks in the direction of Kobe Simmers. 50-50 ball Just a little too long of a throw there for Johnson. Going to bring up 4th down at the 20, and here comes the kicking team. Nissen's already booted one from around the 20. He's already booted around that 35-yard field goal. And now he's looking for another. He has looked absolutely on his A game today as the senior, Caleb Nissen. And could be a big one. Would keep it a 2-possession game regardless if he makes it or not, but would force DHS to have 2-point conversions tagged on to those touchdowns if they do score them. As Nissen's boot, this time no good, just to the left. And maybe that's what Dickinson needed on a momentum kind of turn there. You kind of see Dawson McLaughlin when that kick was just to the left, kind of rally the troops a little bit on the side of the orange and black. Colby Fast Horse all pumped up after he had some big hits that drive. And now they look to try to turn it in for a couple of points. But they're going to have their work cut out for them. Drive starting at the 20. Wouldn't say it's a necessary must-score drive, but you definitely are starting to get to that situation here, needing 2 scores. Stevenson has had his hands full with those defensive linemen up front. This time going to be a quick little pass. Catch by Polans as he will stutter steps his way around the 27. Gain about 7 for Polans. One of the touchdown scorers for DHS today. Fargo South Bruin down on the field. As again, early season woes here for just a couple of those cramping injuries, as we'll take a quick little timeout. Don't go anywhere. We'll join you right back here on the PSP Network.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Bravera Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts.
Let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account.
To wealth management, we'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals.
Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
Looks like it's going to be a great harvest.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Welcome back in. Nate Stevenson looking to pass on 2nd down. It's picked off. Intercepted by Javon Anderson. Anderson with the interception. Let's take a look at it here with 10 minutes remaining. Stevenson looks back to pass, and Anderson, the utility knife, the utility player, versatile. He's been able to make plays for Fargo South as a running back, a wide receiver. He's even been asked to throw a couple passes in his time with the Bruins. And now, here in week 1 of the 2025 campaign, the senior comes up with an interception that has his Bruins looking good in the final frame. Up by a pair of touchdowns, and now gives them great field position as well with 10 minutes remaining. Barnacle, who had the first touchdown run on the season for Fargo South to start today's action, is all sorts of type of gobbled up by Easton Blower. Easton Blower in with the tackle. Blower was everywhere for the Mavericks in the opening quarter. And in that opening half, and now here he comes back alive here in the 4th. So many key players on both sides, and really, honestly, this game is going to be big in the term of the polls, but in the sense of getting to the playoffs or not getting the playoffs, this is a non-region game. not saying you don't want, these are important games, these non-region games, but really they're really great tune-ups. Because once you get into week number 5, that's when those games matter. That's when you play your teams from your region, and that's when you need to win the games to solidify playoff seeding and get into the playoffs. But it's always fun to kind of see the east versus the west side of the state, made a 2A versus 3A schools and stuff like that. As Silas Johnson looking to get to Kobe Simmers and not going to quite get there as Simmers pulls up and just was not able to run that ball out. As Silas Johnson has been a key player distributing the ball there as the sophomore quarterback. He's given his receivers some chances today. Been able to find Drew Kessel for a couple of receiving touchdowns. This time going to be a 3-and-out. A big-time play there. That's a great sportsmanship by Caleb Polens, as you saw on your screen, helping Kobe Simmers off the bench and then getting right back into the kick return coverage as Polens. And now Polens kind of was limped a little bit there, but he'll run his way up to the 18. As Polens went to go help out Simmers and then had to quickly run back to the punt return unit. Now he comes up down on the ground and quickly going to get the trainers to his attention. We'll take a quick break right here on the PSP Network. Don't go anywhere.
At Schatz Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Schatz Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Welcome back in as Caleb Polens going to get a ovation from his student section as he comes up after a little bit of an injury there, but he has made an impact in this game, and you saw his sportsmanship just the play before as well. Been able to make an impact. He was able to score the second touchdown for the Mavericks here today. That point brought him within a touchdown, or within a score, 14-17. But right now, since then, it's been the Bruins that have been having the option here to be ahead as Stevenson throws one in direction of Dylan Glauser right at midfield, but just out of arm's length of the senior. Hey, might as well take a shot. First down. Down by 13. Got to come up with a big-time play to move the chains and move the side of the field. If Stevenson could have got that one to go there to Glauser, you would have felt that momentum probably start shifting. That's what you need, one of those momentum-shifting plays. Plenty of time yet in this one. Stevenson, pressure from Anderson on the side, and that one going to be airmailed up into the Fargo South sideline. It was Anderson who had the interception not too long ago. Provide the pressure on the outside. Again, Anderson could be one of your players to kind of keep an eye on when we talk about the Sports Clip Player of the Game during our Planning Team Financial and Schatz Crossroads post-game show. That's coming your way in just about 9 minutes of game time. Leeson, handoff. He's looking for some trickery. He's going to throw a pass. Hauled in. Nice little play, and it's going to extend out for more. A trick play in the book. Dawson McLaughlin. Leeson throws it to Ethan Luna for a first down. That's sometimes what you need to just open the bag of trickery. McLaughlin does just that and turns it in for a first down and then some. Stevenson, quick pass. Caught at the first down marker before being wrapped up. Paxton Leeson with a first down. Just what the doctor ordered for Dickinson. The Mavericks aren't done fighting yet. Again, if you missed it during the pregame show, they brought the horses out, brought them on the field. If you're used to maybe watching some Dickinson State games, very reminiscent of that, but had the Dickinson banner being brought down. A quick pass to Shane Ciani, first down, whoops it into the 25. Stevenson right now getting those timing throws down, and it's worked. In for some success for DHS. Get the timing, get those mechanics down, and right now his receivers helping him out. Great play calling from McLaughlin as well. 7:43 now remaining. Inside the fourth quarter, Dickinson needs 2 touchdowns. Down by 13. Fake a pass, Stevenson rolls to his left. Another fake pass, he's going to keep it himself. Stutter step, lowers the shoulder, flag comes out as he's hit at the 15. Right where Stevenson was hit. And Stevenson shook up on the play, but powers his way into the huddle. And going to be a call on a face mask. Call it on Fargo South. And as you see, Cole Crossley, as offensive lineman, senior offensive lineman, trying to get his team hyped. So say we got a first down and then some, as now they're into the Serve Pro red zone and make it 1st and goal. The door has been creaked open for a DHS fourth quarter rally. Stevenson down the middle. Intercepted, one-hand interception for Fargo South as they were trying to go to Paxton Leeson, but it's picked off. And let's take a look in on the Ryan Family Dealership instant replay. Stevenson looking, and it is picked off in the end zone. And the Bruins defense once again, that by Shan Ajek with the interception. You thought that the interception before by Javon Anderson was that difference maker. Well, Shan Ajek says, well, here's the one here's a really even maybe a bigger crucial interception. As Ajek pick in the end zone with 7:10 remaining has taken away one of the biggest chances of the second half for Dickinson to find the scoreboard. And now we'll give it back into the driver's seat of Silas Johnson in this Bruins offense. Dickinson looking for a big, quick stop. See if they can get the Bruins on a 3-and-out and get back to work offensively. For the clock drains to 0. Johnson's got a couple of running backs, both to his hips here. High snap. Johnson tips it to himself, fires a pass. No one home. Intended target. Simmers down the middle. But Johnson able to have the concentration play, a high snap, but the young quarterback make sure it's not a near disaster deep in their own zone. 6:25 remaining. 27-14 Fargo South. That incomplete pass stops the clock and plays a big beneficial part for Dickinson. Johnson looking deep into Anderson. It's picked off. Intercepted by Glauser. Returns it to the 30. Big block, 20, 10. Pushed out at the 6. Interception and a big return for Dylan Glauser. And after the Edgek interception, you thought maybe that would be the turning point and maybe try to put this game on ice. But no, Dylan Glauser interception, and is now put DHS once again in prime real estate. They're needing 2 touchdowns, and they still got plenty of time, especially with excellent field position to do so. Dylan Glazer's interception could be one of those move of the game types if Dickinson's able to come back and win this ball game. Handoff up the gut. Bowden sneaks his way in. Interception for Glazer, and on the very next play, Cameron Bowden punches it in for 6. Look at Cameron Bowden keep the legs churning. No one quite having them wrapped up, and Cameron Bowden has put Dickinson within a touchdown. From the interception to the touchdown, big time plays for the Mavericks. Extra point is blocked, but it goes in anyways. And some extracurricular activities after the whistle could potentially be on Fargo South, as we'll just have to wait and see on the call here. There's lots of clapping on the Dickinson side. Unnecessary roughness called on Tate. I believe it's on Tate Barnacle. And it'll be called on Fargo South, but Dickinson 27-21. They trail by 6, but a late touchdown keeps them in the heat of this ball game as we continue on in the fourth quarter when we return.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
Welcome back in. Dylan Glazer, interception and a great return. Set up a great shop there for Nate Stevenson's offense. And Cameron Bowden pushes it in and makes it a 6-point game. The drama intensifies here at the Bijou Activity Center. 6:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. There was also a penalty for unnecessary roughness on Fargo South that made the kickoff at the 50 and allows Braun to boot it and make it a touchback. So 6:10 remaining. Fargo South will have the ball up by 6. It's going to be a big drive for Fargo South. They were stalled out their last offensive drive and ended in an interception after they went and elected to play aggressive and passed the ball twice instead of trying to kill some clock. And it's opened the door for Dickinson for a late rally. Now as it's starting to again, trying to tip the favor to DHS. Silas Johnson and company trying to go back on Fargo South. They're going to go back to the ground. A Gray, somehow, I think he might have lost that ball. Yes, he did. A Gray lost it, coughed it up. But right place, right time for the Bruins was Drew Kessel. The coaching staff for DHS was jumping up and down in their Texas Longhorn orange polos. But it's Fargo South that gets bailed out there by Drew Kessel. Getting to the ball first. A Gray motioned out. Silas Johnson. Pass caught by Kessel. Hey, might as well go back to the guy that kept the ball in your favor, and now there's a quick little slant route to Kessel for a gain of 4. Well, he's the safety blanket on this offense. 2 touchdowns on the day to 1-7 in white. We approach 5 minutes remaining in a 1-possession football game. 3rd and 3 for Fargo South. Big play on defense coming up for Dickinson. Silas Johnson Fires a nice strike, and it's hauled in. Well, can you say just an impact and key player today other than Kobe Simmers? He has been lights out in one game here to start 2025. He's had more receiving yards than his entire year last year at 2024. And that's exactly what Tyler Kosa wants to see of his receiver. Stepping up in a big way today on the road. Far road trip out for Fargo South. A Gray rumbling, stumbling, and now he jets out of the pack with another first down. Almost a 20-yard run for a Gray. Henry Gray has been tough to stop last year against DHS. Had 100 yards on the dot. It's probably, say with that run, probably getting closer to that mark. But that's what Fargo South wanted to see now, is some more time ticking off the old clock. Hand off by a Gray. Bounces out to the outside again before Cheddar wraps him up. Caden Cheddar, the sophomore, the lone sophomore starter on defense, comes up with a big play. As now he's going to come off the bench, or onto the bench, and they will bring in another fellow sophomore, Tucker Broughton, to come in. Second and about 4. 3:25 is now the clock. Starting to become a little bit more daunting now for Dickinson. Every play, Fargo South continues to march down the field. Henry Gray tries to work up. He spins out of some contact. Had some early pressure there from Devin Height. It brings it right down to the first down marker and move the chains again. Now you're getting to this point now for Fargo South. If you get to the 20, then you're in that real estate for field goal opportunity. Yes, Nissen's missed one, but he's made 2 or 3 and has been perfect with PATs. Kind of get to that point, any score from Fargo South could be monumental in this game. To give them a win for the first time in over a calendar year after being held winless last year. Push back, big time defensive stop as a Gray went forward. They're going to say about 4 or 5 yards, but he ends up getting pushed back all the way to where he started. Big time hit and big time defensive stand by Colton Brown, the senior. Senior defensive tackle up front. Knowing that, hey, it's at this point where Fargo South's probably going to run the ball more times than not. But they've proven that they do trust Silas Johnson if they do need to throw it. A Gray powers for a first down as penalty marker is thrown out. They're going to say actually he was just about a yard short of the first down, but it's coming back. 1:52 remaining. As Fargo South's bus inches forward, again, they brought the old North Dakota State Bison bus as it's starting to loom in the distance here at the BSU Activity Center. 1:52, under 2 minutes remaining. A penalty, though, that will mark them back all the way to the 38. And again, we mentioned about the 20-yard line could be pivotal. Could get them into field goal situation to go up by 2 scores and try to ice this game out. DHS, though, trying to make one more stand and give the ball back to the offense. 2nd and 14, all sorts of movement and all sorts of pointing. And they'll call it out of Fargo South. So push it back even a couple more yards. It's looking at the Dickinson sideline, or the Dickinson players on the field. You had Caleb Pollins immediately point towards Fargo South, but a couple other players on Dickinson had their hands on their helmets like, oh no, what do we do now? But no, it is on the Bruins. And now we'll push them up for around 2nd and 20 now coming up. Ball at the 43. They need to get all the way down to the 24-yard line. 2nd down, they'll hand it off to a Gray. There was a big gap up front, and a Gray slams through the hole, and now we'll make it 2nd and about 12. Timeout taken by Dickinson High. We'll take one with them right here on the PSP Network. 1:48 remaining. We've got a fun one in store for you in the closing minute. A 1:48 remaining, 27-21. Fargo South leads.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Well, last Friday, Dickinson, Trinity, Bowman County right here at the BAC. And it was Dickinson Trinity's defense that stopped the Bulldogs 1 yard short of a touchdown that would have tied the game and would have gave Bowman County a chance to win on a 2-point conversion. Well, not many times, 2 weeks in a row, you get another chance where the game could be decided in the last 2 minutes. But before Dickinson has a shot to try to play comeback stunner, they need to make a stop defensively. 3rd down, 3rd and 13 for Fargo South, trying to drain out the time clock. Throwing it out deep to Drew Kessel, and that's going to go incomplete. Didn't miss him by much. And now here's decision-making time for Tyler Kosel. The penalties have pushed Fargo South away from kicking range, field goal range, I would assume. Do you go for it or do you punt it? And it looks like they're going to punt it. Or at this point, do you even roll the dice? The ball at the 37-yard line, try to do some fake trickery, who knows? But as of now, they do bring back in Nissen, Caleb Nissen, to boot it off to Dylan Glauser. And we'll give Dickinson the ball back with 1:40 remaining. Nissen blocked by Height, but it still will roll all the way to the 5-yard line. Devin Height did everything you wanted him to quickly get to the punter and block it, but the punt just had too much power and will go all the way down inside the 10. And now here comes the 2-minute drill. Again, last week, Bowman County had the ball back, down by a touchdown with 4 minutes remaining. They brought it all the way down to the 1. Dickinson High is only going to have about half that time on their side, $1:35, with 2 timeouts to quickly get down the field and try to steal a victory. Shane Ciani. Left to right. Stevenson, quick pass. Glauser catches it, walks out of bounds. Gain of 6. Well, that's the march where you need it. Again, you need to go about 92 yards is what you're going to need. And an easy way to just get a couple and keep in the positive direction. With 2 timeouts left, it'll be interesting when and where Dawson McLaughlin will call his shots for his team, when they'll look for that big punch to get down the field, or they'll go for those little hitters early on. Right now, they'll continue with the little hitters, trying to get in to Glauser for a first down, but that one going to go low. Pass low and incomplete now, bringing up 3rd and about 3 or 4 yards. 3rd and 4. Coming up on the side of the Mavs. First couple plays, they've been just going short passes to Glauser on the outside. Do they go that way again? Fans starting to get loud. Stevenson, pump fake, works to his right. He's going to keep it himself. He'll pick up the first down, and just to be on the safe measure, will even extend the ball out. Let's see this, as that's a very key first down. Scrambles to his right. Stevenson, for extra measure, going to put that ball out. Extend out the arm, say, hey, we'll get an extra yard out there and keep it going. They've worked it now near the 20. So after needing 92 yards now, just a measly about 81 yards is what is going to be needed now in the next 124. Stevenson faces pressure. Anderson, loose ball, and that is going to seal it as Fargo South forces a fumble, and in the end zone they go for a touchdown. Fargo South's defense came away with 2 timely interceptions late in this game, but it was the fumble right here at the closing end. Scooped up and scored for the Fargo South Bruins, and that will put them in the driver's seat in this game on the return and score and close this one out as Nissen comes back for the return. For PAT, snap a little to the side. Great recovery by Johnson, and Nissen boots it through as Fargo South making it 34-21, and the defense comes up with the biggest play of the ballgame for Fargo South. They lead 34-21, just over a minute remaining.
Been in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
Welcome back in here to the PSP Network. Fargo South's defense. Time and time again, they made some big-time plays here in this ballgame. You had a big interception by Javon Anderson earlier in the second half. You had another big interception later on by Shan Ejak, and then it was the fumble right there at the end that quote-unquote could potentially basically seal this game. We'll take a look at it once more. Ball on the ground, scooping it up and taking it to the house. A big-time touchdown for the Fargo South Bruins to try to put this game on ice. As Dickinson did a great job of staying in this game. They were down by 2 scores. They made it back within 1, got the ball back with less than 2 minutes to try to steal a victory. But Fargo South's defense comes up clutch again. Stevenson and the Mavericks going to go down swinging, though. They're not going to give up. They're going to see if there's a little magic left in as a quick little slant route to Leeson. Leeson with a Maverick first down after catching the first touchdown pass in Maverick history. Stevenson dances around in the pocket. Fires a pass, hauled in, and just short of a first down. Caught by Caleb Polens. These wide receivers have been fun to watch for Dickinson today. Stevenson's done a good job of feeding them all. Polens, Glaser, Leeson, Siani. All 4 of those have had their number called quite a few times today, and they have been able to move the ball down the field and seeing if they can do it and trying to get a quick touchdown to maybe an onside kick. Before we get to that territory, though, timeout taken by Tyler Kossel and the Fargo South Bruins as they right now looking like they're a minute away from going 1-0 to start the 2025 season. We turn Dickinson High still out swinging on the offense, trying to break a last-minute comeback.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess, and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clamine, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step.
Welcome back in as Nate Stevenson on the quarterback keeper will move it in for a first down. Less than 50 seconds remaining. Time going to quickly stop there on the first down as they allow the markers to move. Also the player down in the backfield for Fargo South, as we will take an injury timeout for the Bruins right here on the PSP Network.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's going to go. So
Hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved. Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike.
Nate Stevenson going to take another keeper. Makes a defender miss. Picks up a first down, then some, as he rumbles his way on for a first down for the Mavericks. Mavericks not out of it quite yet as they quickly set back up. And as they do, let's take a look. Look at that spin move by Stevenson. Then he quickly pivots on over. Nice little spin move to a juke move. I'm going to watch this one over one more time. Why not? Let's see it again. Stevenson spins at the 50, jukes at the 42, and will work all his way up just out to the 26-yard line. Again, big thanks out to all of our partners of this broadcast that has made this broadcast possible tonight. Minot State, Northern Plains Heating and Air, BSN, Farstead Oil, as well as Stevenson's Funeral Home, Charbonneau Car Center, Sports Clips, Planning Team Financial, Shots Crossroads, Valvoline Instant Oil Change, BNC National Bank. Without our great sponsors, this broadcast would not be possible here on the PSP Network, so a big thanks out to all of those companies. 39 seconds remaining. Dickinson still throwing haymakers here late, trying to get back into this game, as Stevenson again avoids a sack and turns it into a positive play. I thought he was caught in the water there by Adron Wilson. But no, Stevenson would have been a loss of maybe a couple, turns it into a gain of 4. He has been as elusive as you can be here today, and it hasn't been easy. Fargo South has brought the pressure time in and time out in this contest. 4 straight quarters of relentless pressure for the Bruins. Stevenson's had to scramble out. He's had to make some magic-like plays, and shows why he was one of your top rushing leaders a year ago for Dickinson, and has done a good job of being that dual threat again here in the 2025 starting week 1. 29 seconds left. Dickinson going to need some magic. Is there any magic left for the Mavericks? Down by 2 scores, 29 seconds, low snap. Stevenson scoops it back up. Sits in the pocket, rolls around again, keeps his eyes up. Plenty of time. Now he'll get all swarmed by the Bruins, And that will be the sack and potentially the ball game, as Stevenson was running around in the backfield for about 15 seconds. Mavericks never say die attitude. They're going to want one more play. Final play of the ball game. Stevenson looking towards the end zone, batted away by Anderson. Fitting way for it to be the senior of Javon Anderson. He had a big-time interception in this game, and he will close it out in fashion with the deflected pass as the Fargo South Bruins victorious here tonight at the Bijou Activity Center. 34 for Fargo South, 21 for Dickinson, as we head on over to the post-game show when we return right here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow the PSP Network on all social media platforms and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. PSP Network. It's game day.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair. Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with the hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7. Pressure. Point. Yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's the spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak, or can you?
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold up. Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
Welcome back in here to the PSP Network. We had another fun one from the Queen City. The town of Dickinson has been kind of a hotbed of some very fun football games here this past week in the opening week. And no different here today as Fargo South, as you see on your frame there on the Charbonneau Motors postgame show. 34 Fargo South, 21 for Dickinson. Well, let's jump into how this one all started. It started on the first play, actually, for Fargo South. It was one that they were able to luck out. It was a fumble, and able to jump on top of it, and Tate Barnacle was able to run it in, 8-yard touchdown, 7-0, and a few possessions later, their kicker, Caleb Nissen, he had a solid day today, makes it 10-0. Paxton Leeson, though, would score the first touchdown for the Mavericks in the new team name for Dickinson High, 10-7. Second quarter, Drew Kessel, the big 6'7" target, got his first of 2 touchdowns, 17-7. 17-14 after a beautifully designed play for Dawson McLaughlin. They continued to bait in Fargo South on the Paxton Leeson kind of wheel route play and eventually got them to bite on it once more. Got them to bite and would end up finding Caleb Polans in the end zone, 17-14. Starting in the second half, Caleb Neeson picks up another field goal, 20-14. Drew Kessel scored a touchdown, and just like that, it was kind of getting into that situation where you started to get in to where you're getting in that comfortable mark if you're Fargo South. Time's going on your side, but an interception by Dylan Glosser bought enough time for Dickinson, put it back into within a single possession, down by 6. Cameron Bowden would punch it in short yardage to make it a 6-point game. And Dickinson's defense got to stop, but had to go 92 yards to bring in the win in that contest. But it was defense for Fargo South that came in clutch, and that is what brought us in. Faces pressure. Anderson, loose ball, and that is going to seal it.
It was Henry
as Fargo
with
South
the scoop and with the score, and that is what would seal the win in favor of Fargo South, and is brought to you into that move of the game for Henry Gray and Fargo South. Move of the game brought to you by Charbonneau Motors. Charbonneau Motors Car Center. They know drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richardson, Belfield, Williston, North Dakota, and Glendive, Montana work hard, play hard, and need a car that can keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, a lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop in their showroom and treat yourself into a test drive. Visit them at CharbonneauMotors.com. They bring you the move of the game as well as the halftime show. Well, as that is kind of what wraps it up on that, on the recap as well as the move of the game, let's talk about the player of the game, brought to you by Sports Clips. Sports Clips brings you the MVP of this matchup. Sports Clips is the home to the MVP haircut experience. Nothing comes close to making you feel like an MVP, quite like the MVP experience at Sports Clips. Tonight's Sports Clips game MVP, a lot of options tonight, and I went back and forth on it, but I'm going to give it on over to Drew Kessel, the 6'7" tight end. 2 touchdowns in the win, and that is why he's the Sports Clips player of the game. Could have had a lot of different options. A lot of players came in with some big-time plays on both sides, but Kessel was able to get those 2 scores and really be that constant receiver for a young quarterback, a young sophomore quarterback in Silas Johnson that had a superb game under center.
Well, let's now take a look on over and take a check-in on the road ahead for these two teams. Fargo South kicks off their season undefeated, and now they will be taking on Minot North, which would have been back at Fargo South, but it will not be quite the home game for the Bruins just yet. Again, they're working on some field stuff, so they will actually play that on the campus of Fargo North. So Minot North and Fargo South playing at Fargo North's field next week. On over for the Dickinson Mavericks, as they will be on the road and playing a 3A school in Williston before returning eventually back on the 19th, where they'll take on Central Cass, a top 5 ranked squad. But that is going to about do it for myself, Brock Weidner. Back for more action at the Bijou Activity Center coming up next week on the PSP Network. A big slate ahead here in the Queen City on Friday. Dickinson Trinity returns back home after a big win to stay undefeated against Shiloh Christian today. They'll take on Central McLean. Get that on Friday right here on the PSP Network. And then DHS Volleyball versus Minot North coming your way next Saturday. So more games coming up. Well, that is going to do it for myself, Brock Weidner. Big thanks out to all the help behind the scenes by Johnny Haugen as well as Zach Sprague. Can do it without them and without all of our great sponsors. Have a great rest of your Friday night and have a great weekend. Sign off for the last time. Brock Weidner on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow the PSP Network on all social media platforms and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. PSP Network. It's game day.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair. Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with the hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7. Pressure. Point. Yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's the spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak, or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.